looks like we are. Just double checking. All right, let's go. Now we're gonna do Andrew Tate Piers Morgan part 1 in Romania interview with again Piers.
My house, and now I'm restoring it in the country. So it's certainly been a turbulent time.
The moment you got arrested, it was all pretty dramatic. The video came out, the world saw it. A lot of people smashing into your home. Did you have any inkling, warning that something like this may happen?
I knew it. I kept saying before I was arrested on every single podcast I did. I said you get.
Hey, what's up, Anson? By the way. All right, Vince and Ashman. Hope you guys are doing okay. You too, Anson.
3 lives in the world.
Anson.
First life, they're going to cancel you. They're going to.
Yeah, remember Anson?
Oh yeah, the British dude, yeah.
Yeah.
With the cool, the Buddha. I call him Buddha, yeah.
Yeah, British
Buddha stance.
He's the British Buddha.
Yeah. He's so nonchalant, dude.
Yeah, he's just
so cool, yeah.
He's just doing his thing.
Delete your access to social media so you can't defend yourself. The second life, they're going to try and put you in jail for no reason. And if you continue to speak against the power, they're going to assassinate you. I knew I was on my second life. I kept saying it. I knew it was coming. I didn't know the bullshit reason they'd use, but I found out once I was in a cell.
When you were arrested, you don't speak any Romanian, did you?
Zero.
And they didn't speak English to you.
Correct.
So you were taken to a cell. You had no idea what they were alleging you'd done.
I was arrested on the 27th of December, so because of Christmas and New Year's and other problems, they couldn't even translate my paperwork for 2 weeks. So for the first 2 weeks I was in a prison cell, I had no idea why. I was given papers in Romanian. I could read human trafficking, I understood, but I was like, human trafficking who, when, what? None of this makes sense. I waited 2 entire weeks inside of my cell before I was given an English translation, and then I realized exactly how ridiculous the whole case was. Just to clarify, I am accused of helping my friends get big on TikTok. That is what I'm accused of. I told some girls I know how to post on TikTok to become viral when I was at the time the most viral person on the planet. And they are saying I'm a human trafficker for that reason. It is insane.
Well, we'll come to what you've been accused of. It's more serious than the way you've categorized it, but we'll come to that. There is a lot of speculation.
Let's see if he's going to
the
interrupt.
reason the Romanian authorities knew that you were back, because you were en route, I believe, to Dubai for a New Year's Eve party, is that you were interacting with Greta Thunberg.
Can you pause that a little bit?
Media,
yeah.
You had a piece.
The reason why he won't, and I haven't seen this, but there's this thing with Pierce. With, like other dudes, you know, when put in front of a camera and talking like me and you like this, we can cut each other out, you know.
Yeah.
But when you're face to face with someone,
it's harder.
You tend not to get them. Yeah.
But
it's like a
didn't he still
instinct thing, you know?
But didn't he still do that though when they were face to face in the studio? Maybe that's a different thing because they're in the studio.
Yeah.
Remember
like
the
studio thing? Like
the other interview a year ago, you know. But maybe
I remember that one.
And this is not at Andrew's home, right? This is like, I don't know, or maybe it is.
It's in Romania, I think, but it's
Okay, why is he doing the Masonic sign thing all the time? I mean, sometimes I do that with my hands, says Anson. Listen, to be fair though, it is very nice. I like to hold it like this.
Yeah.
So, like that.
I do what Trump does. I do the full fingers.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
It is a nice thing.
Actually, I don't know what it is. Yeah.
It is a nice thing.
Yes.
How should it hold it like this? Or should it hold it like this? Or how the fuck should you hold your hands? Do you know what I mean? I get it. It is, they do that shit, the Illuminati. But, you know, it's still a nice thing to do. You know what I mean? It's nice.
Focus and stuff. I don't
yeah. It makes you focus better. It's weird. It's as if some kind of a weird connection happens when you do that. I don't know what happens. He's doing the inverted triangle. Yeah, but you know, how's he gonna do it? Like that? How's he gonna? Yeah. Anyways.
Pizza in front of you, which came from a well-known Romanian pizza store. Is there any?
Oh
truth
yeah,
to
the
that?
Greta Thunberg
I think
thing.
that they know where I was. A lot of people knew where I was, and they had instructions from higher up to teach me a lesson. I was on my second life, and that's exactly what I'm going through right now.
There's an irony to your situation because you always said the reason you came to Romania was precisely because you thought you could avoid being in this situation.
Well, I loved Romania, and it's a strong Christian nation with strong traditional values. I want a life where I'm left alone by government. I don't believe in big government. I'm trying to avoid that. It felt like Romania was a place which was very safe societally, and the government was not too interested or involved in people's lives. But things change. Also, your freedom and your ability to speak the truth is heavily correlated to your insignificance. When you become large and people start listening to what you say, you soon realize you no longer have freedom of speech, and it doesn't matter where you are on the planet. If they decide you must be assassinated, you will be assassinated.
You in jail, what was that like?
Romanian jail is not English jail.
Describe it. What was the cell like?
I have to be careful what I say because I don't want to insult the Romanian justice system, which I'm still beholden to. However, it's exactly as bad as people would expect it to be. Luckily, it was in the winter, so the cockroaches were not too bad. It was also during Ramadan, so I didn't have to eat so much, which was helpful because of the situation. I think the most stressful thing about it is I had no idea how long I was going to be in there for.
Hey, do you know what I think it is with the fingers? This is just, you know, bro science. But what if when you connect, yeah, when you connect your fingers,
Hey, go ahead.
I listen to this bro science right there. What if when you connect your fingers, somehow your brain shuts off the points of your fingers and you know where your fingers are. Therefore, processing power can be left to other things than your fingers. Bro science, man.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Up to something, man.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it knows the fingers are
like-
connected like this.
Yeah, it doesn't have to mind some organs or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
if it's like this, it's like they're loose. The fingers are loose, and the brain is like, where are the fingers? But when you do like this, it knows, okay, they are together now. I can briefly put that to the side, and I can focus on other stuff. Bro science, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, bro science, but you know, sometimes bro science makes sense.
I don't know. I just thought about it. Like, why does this feel nice? Hold on. I don't want to read into everything. Just saying. Yeah, that's the problem with us conspiracy people. We read too much into everything and make everything crazy. You know.
Conspiracy people.
Yeah, no.
We're not conspiracy people.
What are we then? Regular people.
Realists. I believe realists.
Yeah, but you know, once you see once you see something, you think everything is that. You know what I mean?
It's also
yeah.
It's a nice term, yeah.
Yeah.
The term is nice.
doing
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, you're doing the upwards triangle though. How is it going to get out of that jacket? I mean, talk about squeezing your arms in. I agree. Still, posture, focus. Yes, maybe, yeah.
I was given papers in Romanian. I didn't know why I was there. I found out why I was there, and it was garbage. I couldn't seem to get out. I could have been held for years. It's very stressful. And the best thing you can do is turn to God and train as hard as possible. I did thousands of push-ups a day every single day.
Were you in solitary in this period, 3 months?
No, I wasn't in solitary the entire time. Sometimes I was by myself. Sometimes I was with other guys, and sometimes I was with my brother. So.
When you were on your own, were they keeping you in there for 24 hours a day? Were you allowed out?
No, I wasn't allowed out. There was no yard time. It was 24 hours a day, locked in a single room, probably 3 or 4 steps large, and you do nothing but stare at the wall. And you.
How many days did you do that for, on your own?
11, 12.
I mean, that's a pretty grim scenario for anyone.
Life's grim.
For you, always being Mr. Confident, you said, interestingly, that you wouldn't categorize what you were feeling as depression because you don't believe in the concept of depression. You and I have argued about that before. But it sounds to me, from what I've seen you say when you've talked about this, that was pretty close to depression, what you were feeling.
Life's grim. And if you want to be a superhero, you have to understand in every single superhero movie, he is losing for 80% of the movie. He's going to suffer for the majority of the movie before he wins at the end. I've always wanted an exceptional life, Piers, and I'm not a coward. And I knew that by telling the truth about certain issues, I was going to pay the price for it. So I won't say that I deserve to be in jail, but I certainly put myself in there by telling the truth to the populace and telling the truth and living.
But when you're on your own in that cell, what were you thinking? It's a long time to self-reflect, right?
It certainly is. And I think my number one concern when I was in jail, despite the fact that my situation was dire, were my concerns as a man and all the people I had to take care of, and my children and my family and the people I pay for and all the people who work for me. And truthfully, I wasn't worried about myself, I was worried about everybody else. And I think that's the true masculine frame.
Did you get emotional? Did you shed tears in your cell?
I'm an emotional man. I think.
Now, why does he want to know that? You know what I mean? Even if he cried, why do you want to know that? Do you know what I mean? It's none of your business.
Yeah, because
right?
Piers wants to see if there's a crack in the shield.
Yeah, he just wanna.
He always likes to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to feel like Andrew's a human being or something like that.
Yeah. Even if he cried, so what? Doesn't make him less a man. I mean, for himself. It's a different thing if he cries in front of people.
We're emotional. We just have to control.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Right.
extremely busy inside of my jail cell. I had lots of push-ups to do. I was very concerned about the people on the outside. I was trying my best to get out. It's difficult for me to answer the question because it was an interesting frame of mind. I knew that God was watching and I had to perform. It's very difficult for me to go through life saying I'm the top G, I'm this, I'm that, and speak about mental resilience and mental toughness, and then the second I'm thrown inside of a solitary confinement cell, cower out. I'm not that person. There's some other people who talk about mental toughness and want to give advice, and when bad things happen to them, they end up addicted to prescription drugs. I'm not a coward and I'm not a liar.
No, but it would be perfectly natural to be emotional in that scenario, and there's no shame in admitting that.
I was emotional. I missed people. I missed them, and I knew they...
Hold on. It takes more confidence to admit to crying. What do you say about that, Ashma?
Depends on what.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah, right?
If you got fired and you're like, oh, I spent the entire night yesterday crying. You know, it sucks. No, dude. No. If you said your cat died, your dog died, somebody died.
Yeah. That's
You kind of... Also, admitting that you cried. I don't know, what will that add to the someone you're telling that to? I don't get that. What's the value in you saying, hey man, I cried? I mean, what is that? I don't know what it is. Like
showing some
if someone asks you and you... Yeah. I mean, if someone asks you, a lot of people are like confused about that, Vince. Like, some conversations are like weird to have. Like if someone asks, hey man, your cat died.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you cry? What is that?
None of your business.
My cat died, yeah. Well, why are you concerned about me crying? What is that?
Yeah. Answer says, yeah, gotta be a good reason. Yeah.
Also, what he said there, when he said a lot of people would turn to drugs, did you know what he meant by who he was throwing shade at?
No. Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't like Jordan Peterson anymore. You know.
Yeah, me neither, man.
Yeah, you never liked him.
I never liked him.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
So
let's
I
go.
I felt a strong sense of missing.
But you cried.
There were tears that ran down
You
my
cried.
face, but I did not cry.
I mean, that's crying.
I would disagree.
Because you're
So
worried
that's
about
where
admitting
that's
you didn't
from.
deserve it.
Absolutely not. That's a perfectly
What?
fine scenario to cry in.
That phrase was trending on Twitter like yesterday.
Ah,
It was
was
the
it?
top trending on Twitter. There were tears in my face, but I never cried.
Ah.
Yeah,
What?
so that's from him. Okay.
Well, tears
It was
and
hilarious.
crying ain't the same thing. I don't think tears and crying is the same thing. Crying is like that's crying, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
That was very convincing, by the way. Great job. Good lord.
You know, and you make sounds and everything. Your face is all fucked up and things. That's crying. Tears is like it's raining from your eyes. You know, it's really low rain, like bloop. You know, bloop. You know,
Nice.
that's tears.
It's raining from your eyes. Okay. Very poetic, Vince. It's raining from my eyes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. There's a difference between raining from your eyes and crying.
Listen, man, you have a certain vibe with the glasses. I like it, man. You
Maybe I
become
should.
poetic and shit,
Maybe
you
I
know?
should keep them. Yeah, it's better
Yeah,
for my
they're
eyes.
nice.
These fucking lights eventually takes a toll on your eyes. You know what I mean? Takes a toll.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
This is nice. Hold on, let me read. Especially for men, that is just science. Some people nowadays more attached to their pets than other people. Treat them like people. Maybe it's because some people are trash, you know? There are many types of crying, yes. In my opinion, great. Yeah, great.
But I think the act of crying is an act of desperation. To sit and to cry is an act in and of itself. To do push-ups thinking of your children with tears running down your face, but you're concerned with finishing as many push-ups as possible within that day, I do not consider that crying. I consider that tears running down my face.
When you found out what they were alleging you'd done,
Or you could say it's like your eyes are sweating, right? Your eyes are sweating.
No, I like the rain one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's right.
I tried to make it more masculine. Your eyes are sweating. As if sweating is only masculine. As if only men sweat. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
sexual assault, exploitation, and so on. What did you feel about that? What was your first reaction?
My first reaction was, the standard playbook. The standard playbook for anybody who speaks up against power is sexual exploitation. Isn't that the normal one they go to? Can't we name like 10 or 15 people right now they hit them with this exact same garbage? Name a full-grown man who's 36 or 37 years old who's not had sexual relations with a woman at some point in the past. And the way the Matrix works is they lie by omission, right? They just hit Russell Brand with it. I think they hit P. Diddy with it this morning. Julian Assange just got hit with it. He's still in a cell.
But lots of people get hit with these allegations and it turns out to be true.
A lot of people get hit with them and they turn out to be false. So.
Yeah, but you're sort of trying to make out all the people you just named are innocent. You don't know that.
Of course I don't know that, but a lot of people get hit and it turns out to be false.
Why would you assume they're innocent?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the way the Matrix operates is it chooses something which is heinous. If they accuse me of drug dealing, nobody would care. They choose something which is heinous, so the process itself is a punishment. So they damage your reputation throughout the process, regardless of whether it's successful or not. Then what they do is they lie by omission. They throw you in a cell and they contact everyone you've ever interacted with. 2,000 people I know were called, and they were looking for one person to say they're a victim. By the way, they failed. They did not even find one. But if they did, they would then say, Andrew Tate's victim, he's a sexual assaulter, and they would remove the testimony of the 1,999 people who said I'm a very nice man. Lie by omission, and then they put together this entire package using mainstream media to convince the world that you deserve to be in jail, and that's how the Matrix operates.
I mean, to be clear, I don't know if you're guilty or not.
I do.
You're perfectly entitled to say that, and you know, right?
Of course I know.
But I don't know, and I will await any trial that comes to see what comes out of the trial and see what happens, right? So I'm not going to prejudge the trial. I'm not going to judge you and say I think you're guilty. I don't know, right? We are where we are. You've been charged with serious crimes, and it's likely you'll face a trial, and we'll see how that all plays out, obviously. Going back to jail, how were you treated by other people?
Everybody in jail was extremely apologetic to me. All of the staff, the police officers, everyone who worked in the jail, the person who served me my meal, everybody was very sorry for what happened to me. They made it very clear they knew it was garbage, and they were apologetic. That was the only vibe I could give you. They were kind of like, listen, you got too big. I'm sorry. This is how things work. And sorry, here's your meal. Nobody had any real problem with me. None of the prisoners had a problem with me.
Did you get into any fights?
There was a couple scenarios where violence could have occurred, but I think once people realize that violence is a certainty and that you do not operate under a fearful realm, they often aren't so interested.
So people threatened you?
I wouldn't say they threatened me, but they would have liked to have got the opportunity to threaten me.
And what happened?
And they realized that would have been a bad decision. And all in all...
Well, what did you say to them? Because you don't speak Romanian, so...
I didn't, you're right. I actually used a quote from Street Fighter. I said... I quoted Dowson, and I said that they do not understand the secrets of yoga fire, because I knew they had no idea what I was talking about. It was near the washing machines, and they looked at me like I was completely crazy, and they walked away.
There's more than one person?
Correct.
And they made it clear what? That they wanted to...
I have to be careful what I say, because I'm still beholden to the Romanian judicial system.
Yeah, but that's just an incident in jail. That's
Correct.
nothing to do with the system.
An incident report was written, and it's better I don't mention it.
But there was a direct threat to you.
I've had threats, yeah, and I have threats every single day of my life, and I think jail is a hyper-pressurized version of reality, and you need to have an extremely strong mind so you don't attack yourself, and an extremely strong body so others don't attack you. And I understood that there was a threat of violence at all times, and I just decided to go through life extremely respectfully, but make it clear if that's a decision somebody else wants to make, that I'm prepared to partake.
One of the things I would think about, other than my family, immediate family, but one particular member of my family, if I found myself in jail, would be my mother, and what she would be feeling and what she'd be thinking. She's been incredibly supportive to me. I know yours has to you. Did you think about your mother?
I was extremely concerned for her. I was concerned because the media establishment were hounding her. She was obviously very worried, but she knew she raised strong sons. But we're her number one protectors, and I was concerned for her. I wasn't concerned for myself in jail. I didn't even suffer in jail as much as I did when I got out. I didn't have nightmares in jail. I had nightmares once I left jail. I was in the middle of a battle. I don't think you get PTSD while you're fighting. You get it afterwards. I was in the middle of a battle trying to make sure that everybody I love and care about is taken care of and trying to make sure that bills are paid. Please understand, the day I was arrested, which is a year ago, every single bank account that I have was frozen. All of my assets were taken. I haven't had a dollar of money
You had 10
since
cars
January.
taken, I think.
15.
15 cars and how many properties?
15 cars, 6 properties, 20 diamond watches, gold bars, cash, land, every single bank account, millions and millions and
What was
millions
the
of
total
dollars.
value of everything they seized?
16, 17 million?
Pounds?
Yeah. And they took all of it. And I still don't have access to any of these things.
I mean,
What does that have to do with girls webcamming? That's bullshit, man. The fuck?
Also, TikTok, even. He said TikTok.
Yeah.
Like the case. It's funny if you read the case. It's hilarious, actually.
How much
Like
money?
he's accused of taking money out of girls who do TikTok half a mile away or something.
Yeah, but how much money
It's
can that
weird,
be?
man.
So that they have to take cars, land, money.
Apparently 17 million, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
It's hilarious.
This guy is hilarious. I was wrong before when I said I don't like him. Andrew, what's he done for all this? What I mean, what his charges is. His charge is, God knows what his charge
Stealing
is.
TikTok money.
Yeah.
Stealing TikTok. Apparently.
Doing this
Also
Yeah.
with the PTSD thing that he said. What do you think about PTSD, Pence? What do you think about PTSD?
All I know is it reminds me of George Carlin when he talks about how it was called shell shock before it changed into post-traumatic stress syndrome. I don't know, that you go through something that is so shocking that fucks with your brain. I don't know. It might be a true thing, because it depending on what kind of a shocking thing you go through. You know, let's say you're in a torture chamber and you see all kinds of crazy fucking shit happen there. I don't know. We can probably mess with your head.
No, I actually believe that. I actually believe that it's a true thing and it's actually pretty realistic. My thing with PTSD is when it comes to soldiers and veterans that have PTSD, sometimes my mind goes to a place where, isn't that karma?
For the soldiers?
Because, because you know deep down that you did something that you know was wrong, and God's way of punishing you is a form of haunting you, you know.
Well, yeah, it depends on what if it's like soldiers that are doing wrongful battle. But what if it's like you're just defending yourself against motherfuckers, you know? Then do you still get that?
True.
I don't know. Maybe you won't get post PTSD if you're doing it for the right cause. Hold on. But also get emotional PTSD is different. Emotional PTSD. I don't know. Let's go.
Expecting to hear sometime today as to whether you may get those possessions back. Is it all or nothing? Do you get it all back or nothing?
Correct. As we sit here, the judge is deciding whether I get all of my items returned or I get none of them returned. And truthfully, under the law, I should have never had them taken in the first place. So we're going to see what the judge decides. And I have to put my faith within the Romanian judicial system. I have no other choice. I'm not a coward. I'm not going to run. But let's not talk about the Romanian judicial system. Let's talk about the judicial systems of the world. I've recently seen some very scary decisions in America and England, in these Western democratic nations. You see people doing 20 years for attending peaceful protests. So you start to sit and wonder when you're in these situations, what is a trial? What is a judge? What is this? These are just people in a room.
Which peaceful protest are you talking about?
There's been a few. And
who's got 20 years for attending a peaceful protest?
I don't want to say names. I saw it somewhere on Twitter. Somebody attended, I think it was a pro-Trump protest, and they ended up getting 20 years.
Well, if you're talking about the January 6th riots, they were riots where people died.
Well, it's interesting.
They're not peaceful protests.
Well, it's interesting because the world is actually...
Quickly, hasn't it come out something about that day, the January day? I've been hearing, I haven't been following it, but I've been hearing that it's been released. There's a bunch of tape released on some shady stuff going on with the cops and the protesters and shit like that. I don't know if you've seen that, Ashman. No? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah?
I actually seen the footage is out there, actually, of the people, like those cops, like walking around with that dude in the White House and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen them,
out there,
taking off their handcuffs and fist bumping them and shit like that. That's
escorting them and all that stuff. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Also, Piers will never like Trump after what happened. Like, I'm not saying he's not. He's the type to hold grudges. I don't feel like he's a fan of Trump. Like,
fuck Piers.
I don't know.
Fuck that guy. Hold on,
dude. He's snaky.
He is snaky. I bet Trump hates him. Always send in the younger ones, don't know what's going on. What's up, Rabbit? And then really difficult to get out of army sometimes makes you sign yourself up for years, and they have own police force, etc. Yeah.
Actually very nuanced. And what I tried
that wasn't nuanced. That was a huge mob of
what
people
I tried to do
attacking the US Capitol.
Well, what I tried to do is I try to look at a broad spectrum of events, and I try to put things into a nuanced view, and I don't try and take a instant black or white point of view on things. And the fact that BLM were rioting and destroying the entire nation for months and during that exact week, and then some other people got together with an opposing political view and are facing serious prison time for doing less damage than BLM did. I find that kind of scary because
people did die.
Well, in a democratic nation, we should all be the same under the law.
Just to be clear, on January the 6th, people died.
People died during BLM.
I mean, there are certainly inconsistencies in the way groups of people have been policed. I think that's the same whether you're talking about the BLM marches to...
You know, if he was honest, his response should have been, yeah, you're right. And it's probably more who died in the BLM thing. You know, that would have been a new, like an honest response. Yeah. I need to go back to my bosses and see if we can, something like that.
That's Tucker, man. That's Tucker.
Yeah, that's Tucker. That's true. That's Tucker.
Yeah.
That's Tucker. Yeah, you're right.
Pro-Palestinian marches and so on, right? There's a lot of inconsistency.
Well, then we agree.
There's a lot of inconsistency in global.
But then Tucker was fired, so yeah.
I think that's
Exactly.
a valid thing to say. But the idea that someone's got 20 years for being in a peaceful march is not true. The ones who've got the lengthy prison sentences have been held accountable for serious crimes.
I'm not even condoning January 6th. I don't even know the ins and outs of January 6th. I wasn't there. I'm not saying it should have happened. What I'm saying is exactly what you have said. There seems to be some massive inconsistencies in global policing now. So when you end up in a position where you're speaking against the system, as I do, and you understand that there are massive inconsistencies in policing globally, you start to sit down and seriously wonder if you stand a fair chance of a fair trial in any country on earth. I actually have to give massive credit to the Romanian judicial system because a judge one day sat down and said, why are these boys in jail, and let us go. I don't know if I would have had a fair shot like that in many other nations.
When you were released from jail after about 3 months, what was that feeling like?
My brother and I were in the same cell at that time. We were extremely happy. I remember using the last of my mouthwash. During the day, I had some rituals to keep me sane, and I'd enjoy one swig of mouthwash a day. It's amazing how bored you get when you're staring at cockroaches, and even that sensation.
So there were literally cockroaches in your cell?
Correct.
How many at any given time?
At night, there was a lot of them.
Hold on, quickly. Isn't it funny how he has everything in the world, right? But once he's in a cell, he's like reduced to a toothbrush and, mouthwash, And why I'm saying that is, isn't it funny when we lose a bunch of stuff and then we only got a few things, we appreciate it more. It's like, same thing goes with, for example, if you play video games and you have one game or two games, compared to if you have 50 games, you will not really play. You will not care for the games. But if you have one game only, you will really cherish that one game. What I'm saying is, the less you have, the more you appreciate things. The more you have, the less.
Yeah. Dude, even deeper than that, I watched there's a famous therapist here in the North Africa area. I wouldn't say even my country, but he's very famous. He has this technique that he says, when you're not appreciating what you have enough in life, try to imagine yourself becoming blind all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, don't just imagine it. No. He says, when you go to sleep, once everything is dark, don't go to sleep yet. Just imagine that tomorrow you wake up blind.
Eyes.
What's the first thing you're going to do? Imagine the way you go about your day. Now what's going to happen?
Yeah.
It's very different. Now, like when you internalize it and think about it deeply, it can mess you up. Like, oh my God, everything I'm seeing right now is a blessing.
Yeah.
If I'm blind, then I'm...
And you take it for granted, this very simple thing.
Yes.
Just seeing,
So,
or not even just seeing, it's tasting, or I don't know, smelling or touching even. What if you lost the sense of touch? You're like, you know what I mean? Yeah, all of those
hearing,
things.
Dude.
Hearing.
Imagine you lost hearing. Oh. No Freddie Mercury anymore. No
because,
Metallica.
Because let's face it, Ashman, sound and music is what gives emotion to this world. If you take out sound and music, it's all like silent bullshit.
Silence is scary. Yeah.
Right? Think about, let's say you're fucking a Russian whore, but it's silent.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe that won't change.
What? Did you wait? Hold on. Who said that?
I don't know. Who was that? I don't know who that was.
What the fuck?
I just wanted to throw an outrageous thing out there. But would that change? Okay. Would that change that scenario? Like if you had no sound during
being deaf?
Yeah.
Well,
would that change it all too much?
I don't know, man. You caught me off guard with this one, man. We were talking about Freddie Mercury and music and shit, Some wholesome stuff. Dude was like with the glasses. He was like thrusting or something. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay, well, what I mean is this.
Yeah, but listen, man, you're deaf. Your dick is not deaf, so I don't know. The sensation would. You can just visualize how she sounds, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't do too much change, but
plus you're looking like your eyesight is still good, you know.
But yes, losing sound will do a lot, man. You know, I think even let's say even if you're around people,
apparently it's sex as well.
Maybe, who knows? I have to try that somehow. But yeah, let's say
you're hilarious, man.
Let's say you're around a lot of people, but you're deaf. You're deaf, not deaf. You're deaf. You know, you won't probably feel lonely, right? Even if you have like people around you, right?
Just you and your thoughts. Yeah.
You like.
Oh, are you being dead? Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Is he muted or something?
Yeah, I'm trying to simulate the situation. Anyways, let's go back.
Yeah, a few. There was an infestation. We did our best to kill as many as we could. They kept us entertained, but they're annoying to sleep with. But mouthwash was something I enjoyed every day. The sensation of mouthwash made me happy, and I remember using all of my mouthwash. And then instantly, my brain started turning to all of the things I need to do. I'm a man, I have responsibilities. For 93 days, I wasn't working. I started concerning myself with, okay, I'm about to get out of jail, thank God. I'm gonna leave. Who do I need to take care of? What's paid? Do I have any money left? Are bills due? Is mom okay? Are my children okay? And I just started thinking about work. And as soon as I got out, I didn't sleep for 3 days.
How many children do you have?
That's confidential.
Why?
Because
Why?
I have babies, and unfortunately, I do not want to give them any information.
But you have more than one?
I have more than one, correct.
Right, so obviously you're caring for your children. I understand that as a father, right? And obviously, and you have a partner?
Yes.
Are you married?
No.
I think I asked you last time and you were a bit cryptic about it. You're not married yet?
No.
You have a partner who's the mother of your children?
Correct.
The same woman is the mother of all your kids?
It's confidential.
It's a bit stupid to say confidential.
It is confidential, Piers. It's
I
confidential.
don't think you marry and have kids with is confidential, surely.
It is for me.
Really?
Of course, I am basically #1 enemy of the state, Piers. Look what they've done to me. What have they put me in jail for? At the beginning of this garbage, people were sitting there thinking, maybe he's a human trafficker. It's been a year. Who? Show me a picture. Show me a video. Who's even a victim? There's nobody. The whole thing is made up.
Well, we're going to come to what they say you've done, right? We're going to come to that. But I'm just curious. You come out of prison. You've got no ability to access any of your assets. How have you been functioning financially since then?
I believe in prayer and I trust in God.
Well, prayer doesn't pay the bills.
And I do my very best.
But prayer doesn't pay the bills.
Unfortunately, absolutely everything I own was seized by the Romanian state, so I'm just going to have to survive and do my very best.
Yeah, but how?
I'm doing my very best, Piers.
Have you got wealthy benefactors helping you?
I'm doing my very best. I wish I had wealthy benefactors. I wish I had people on my side.
Yeah, you can't function on no income at all.
Seems you can.
How?
I'm doing my very best, Piers.
What does that mean?
It means I'm doing my very best. Absolutely everything I own is taken by the Romanian state. I don't have anything they don't have.
How do you pay for food?
I just have to do my best.
What does that mean?
It means that I believe in God and I pray.
Well, God's not going to pay your bills.
God has been paying my bills so far, it seems. It's amazing how far faith can take you. It's often when you have absolutely nothing left, people turn to faith, but you should turn to faith first, and you should believe in God when things are good, and He will be there when times are bad.
Initially, you were put on this sort of rolling 30-day house arrest, and they kept renewing that month by month by month. And then in June, you and your brother and 2 others were formally charged with rape, trafficking, and forming an organised crime group to sexually exploit women. And there were 7 alleged victims named in the indictment. You said at the time, I look forward to being found innocent. You said earlier, who are these women? Well, there are 7 named in the indictment.
Yeah, have you seen the videos of them on the internet saying we're not victims, they made us be victims, we told them
well,
we
that will all
victims?
presumably be analysed in a trial. Do you know when the trial may be?
I have no idea. It's going to
Do you believe it will happen?
I'm not sure.
Hold on. So if the women that are in the charges say opposite of what they're saying in the charges, like they're saying he's innocent, shouldn't that just be it? You know what I mean? That should be it.
Yeah. Well, they can make the argument that they were convinced to say that.
But that's not your problem. You know, if they say he's innocent, he's innocent. You know what I mean?
And that's the biggest form of misogyny, I think.
What?
Saying that women are not like functioning adults and can't make their minds or
there must have
say
been
what happened actually to them without them being delusional or coerced. That's ridiculous. That's the biggest form of misogyny, actually.
Yeah.
get to a point where a judge, anytime the trial, decides his case is garbage and throws it away. If you ask me what I believe happened, it's very simple. They threw me in a jail cell knowing they had no case, knowing they had no victims, but they thought if they plaster me all over the MSM and they say that I'm a bad person and they call enough people, they will find the case they want. They couldn't find it. You name the date they charged me. They had 6 months to charge me. Usually the Romanian state, even the American embassy confirms to me, charges within 30 days. With me, they used all 6 months trying to build a case and find actual victims of an actual crime. They couldn't. They charged me on the very last possible day they could, unless they'd have to drop the entire case. And they charged me with garbage because they have nothing.
Yeah,
no
yeah. I knew this, back in the days when Andrew was posting, maybe this month they will, release me, or maybe this month. I was like, nah, they gotta go full 6 months. But thing is this, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Russian collusion bullshit. If you weren't up to date to the Russian collusion thing, they said in the beginning of the Russian collusion thing against Trump, they said it took 2.5 years to conclude this thing. But they said in the beginning that they got the evidence. They got significant evidence that Trump is a Russian spy. Okay? Okay. So why does it take 2.5 years for you to release Hadouken, release this significant evidence, right? If you have it, you can release it the next day, even the same day, or let's say 2 days, 3 days, a week at tops. You either got it or you don't. It doesn't take 2.5 years for you to release this evidence, right? Especially when it's your government security, your country's security, right? You don't have to wait 2.5 years for this. If he's a spy, you better do this today, right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that means you don't got shit, motherfucker. That means you're trying to find it. You're trying to find the evidence. Same here with this 6 months bullshit. You either have the evidence you need to get Andrew or not. You don't need 6 months unless you're trying to fish for it.
Also, I do believe that Andrew or Trump or Kanye West or Alex Jones, I don't believe that they're in the category of being assassinated yet. Because to get to that category, you have to start mentioning certain people and certain places and certain shapes of certain planets and certain, space stuff that went to another place that never went there. It's that's when it gets tricky, and that's when people get actually killed. Like McAfee. Do you realize that McAfee guy that we reacted to?
John McAfee.
I don't know.
Yeah.
John McAfee. Yeah. Apparently, he committed the S, which he on Twitter before weeks he said, "I will never do that to myself."
Yeah, they either offed him or he's still alive. No way he did this.
Yeah, no way. Yeah.
So they either offed him or he's still alive. Those two options, Yeah, I hope he's alive. Anyways.
I've done nothing wrong, and they've tried very hard. And let me say something very pertinent to the audience here. It's very difficult when you're thrown inside of a jail cell. You do not have access to social media. You do not have access to money. The entire MSM establishment are calling you a bad person. Hotlines are set up saying, if Andrew Tate's ever hurt you, call this hotline. You're a rich person where people may want to get money from you and exploit you and extract resource from you. And they're sitting here calling anyone you've ever known. They called my gardener's daughter, who I've never even spoken to, asking if I've ever done anything wrong to her or said anything wrong to her, trying to find victims of a crime that don't exist. It's actually a miracle from God that no one's come out trying to extract money from me. Whole thing is garbage. They could do this to anybody. Piers, they could do this to you. They could put you in a cell, put all over the media you're a sexual exploiter, and for 3 months talk about how bad you are when you can't defend yourself, and call everyone you've ever interacted with. And if
well, maybe they will if he doesn't toe the line, Maybe they got him already. He's on that leash already. Who knows? Right? Yeah.
Anybody you were ever rude to once decides they want a payday or some fame, they can use it against you. It's insane.
The Romanian authorities' prosecution files accuse you of using verbal and physical abuse to keep women in line, taking 50%, I believe, of the women's online income, although I believe that figure could vary, could be up to 80%. Is that right?
No, they accuse me of exploiting women who did TikTok The same women who say we were not exploited, he just told us how to do TikTok. Also, in the prosecution file, if you want to talk about it, there's not a single bank transfer. There's not a single piece of evidence for any money. So I'm accused of making money from TikTok, but they haven't found any money. There's no money, and the victims are saying, I didn't exploit them to do TikTok. The whole thing is a joke.
What is, I think, problematic for you is the war room, which was a group
miscategorized and misunderstood.
It was called the war room.
Correct.
Okay. And it had a lot of people who were dubbed the generals who ran the war room
Correct.
for you. And the war room had 500 to 600 members who paid, I think, $6,000+ to be a member of this. And when you saw the logs of the web chats between people from the war room to each other, a lot of it made disturbing reading. Were you disturbed by it when you read that?
Firstly, a lot of that is bullshit. A lot of that's fake. Secondly,
you think that literally those logs are fake?
Absolutely. Secondly,
but the BBC verified them.
The BBC verified them. The same people who verified the vaccine. Those people, they're liars.
Oh no.
A lot of them are fake. Secondly,
were you disturbed by anything you read?
No, because none of it's real.
Hold on. Is it okay now to talk about the you know what? You know, I don't know how many times
Apparently.
I don't know how many times I got a strike for shit like this, but
are we on YouTube now?
Yeah, and Rumble. YouTube and Rumble. But on the other channel.
Dude, you should have said, man, something. I think you mentioned Russia, and you were so like, oh yeah, Russia invasion.
Russia.
Isn't that like a keyword in the algorithm of Susan?
Yeah, you can say Russian collusion. I believe.
Mm-hmm. But you can't say the EU country, right?
No, I don't think so.
Or you can.
And the I.
Oh no.
The I country.
You know what it is, Vince? At first, you could have mentioned the jab and the common cold and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you could have mentioned the U and the R countries. And then now you can't mention the P and the I country. It's like it's a rhythm with YouTube, you know, the censoring.
Who is the P? Put.
No. 2 countries.
The
one
P and I.
Another one is genociding another.
The P and I. Okay, yeah. God knows, man. I don't know. But apparently they can talk about the jab, so let's go.
Secondly, there's 4,000 members in the war room. Thirdly, the war room is about masculine personal development. We talk about fitness, making money, strength. We talk about very important things. There's 4,000 members inside. If you're telling me that amongst 4,000 members with 24-hour chats 7 days a week for the last 5 years, they've managed to find 2 guys talking locker room talk, and that somehow offends the world, then nobody understands how the world works. That's not why I was in jail. It's nothing to do with the war room. I was in jail because I spoke against power, because I told the truth about COVID, because I told the truth about the war in Ukraine, because I told the truth about all of these things.
I don't understand why people would want to put you in jail for giving your opinions about COVID or Ukraine.
What? How the... Come on, man. You can't be that stupid. I don't understand. You're one of the most influential men on the earth, and you're saying "teet" is bullshit. You know, when I say "teet," you know what I mean, right? Teet, teet. You know? I don't understand. Why would they want to put you in prison for that? No.
Why wouldn't they?
Why would they? Why would they say that Andrew Tate's opinion is so important on Ukraine that we have to put him in jail? I don't buy that.
Okay, because I was the most Googled man on the planet, and I had a huge affinity with the most troublesome demographic for the Matrix, which is the young masculine youth, the people who you need to die in wars, the people who you need to psyop into being slaves to build the roads while telling them that they're not allowed a point of view and they're not allowed an opinion on anything. And I was saying things which was going against the narrative. And the Matrix, the way it operates is it uses the MSM to purport lies, to inject slave programming into people's brains so that we live lives which are not good for us but are good for them. And I was sitting there unplugging it. Why would they sit there and say, we've put together this massive psyop. We're going to convince everybody to inject themselves with poison, and we're going to lock everyone in their houses, and it's all a lie. And we're going to let this one guy who everyone listens to.
Andrew, it wasn't all a lie.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't. There was a new...
I will just do this. And I hope that YouTube can't detect that. But it was a big... You got it, right? You got that, right? A huge
nice performance, man.
Yeah, a huge... that's the next level, you know, when it comes to censorship. When we have to mime and shit, you know what I mean? Because who knows, man? I've been hearing that AI is doing shit. You know, listen to this. The detecting on YouTube. I've been hearing also on AI not only listens, but it can see things. Like if I do this, it will figure out what that means. You know, I'm serious. It can fucking read pictures now, that motherfucker. And like put 2 and 2 together and shit. Fuck, we're living in a fucking Terminator, you know, Skynet world. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, man? Crazy.
There was a new novel coronavirus. Okay, I'll tell you what the facts were, and you can then laugh at them if you wish.
Sure.
But there was a novel coronavirus, COVID-19. It was killing thousands of people a day.
Really?
Yes, that's terrible. Yeah, and I know people who died.
Who doesn't? I know people who died before Corona.
Fine, I'm sure people died of lots of things, but it was killing exponentially thousands and thousands of people, and then vaccines were developed at very high speed, and they managed to save, in my estimation, millions of lives.
I love them.
Agree with that.
Absolutely.
But those are facts as assumed by the body of scientific and medical experts in the world.
The body of scientific and medical experts, you mean the Matrix? I could get...
What is the Matrix?
The Matrix are a bunch of people who can come up with studies from the sky to say anything they want them to say, so they can use the MSM to purport garbage inside of people's minds. So you end up locked in your house, clapping for the NHS like a performing seal, injecting yourself with experimental poison for the 9th time. It's a lie. There was no reason to lock anyone in the house. More people died from missed cancer appointments than anyone ever died of COVID. People always got the sniffles before COVID, and they've always got it since. Let me ask you a question.
Hang on,
sir.
it wasn't.
Where has COVID gone?
It wasn't.
Diseases don't go away.
It wasn't.
Where's COVID gone?
It wasn't. Well,
I know where it went. Remember in 2022 when the U country and the R country started to go at it? You know?
Yeah.
That was when
Vladimir took it away, no?
Yeah.
The comrade took it away.
Yeah, exactly. That was when the just disappeared. Just disappeared. They tried to come back with the monkey stuff and shit a little bit. They tipped their toe in the water with the monkey stuff. They're like, there's this monkey thing. People like, get the fuck out of here. And then they left the monkey thing.
COVID strains have got milder, as indeed flu.
Yeah.
Flu used to
So
kill.
it's gone away.
Well, flu pandemic in about 100 years ago killed 50 to 100 million people, and it's got steadily milder over the decades since. This is normal medical science pathway for most pandemics, right? So on that, I mean, your sort of cast iron, it was all Matrix, MSM nonsense, is palpably untrue.
Well, I'll tell you why that's not untrue. Let me tell you my personal experience with COVID. I'm an extremely logical person. At the beginning, when everyone was dying, dropping dead in the streets in China, which I never saw, by the way, funny, and Italian hospitals were full, English hospitals were never full, funny. Me and my brother sat there and said, if this disease is so deadly and can damage us as strong military-age males, and the world is over. So there's no point in hiding in our house. We decided to go to Sweden. On day one of COVID, day one when everyone still believed, we went to Sweden. Why does no one talk about the fact that Sweden was open the entire time? Why does no one talk about the fact they didn't have masks or lockdown or vaccines? My brother and I partied in nightclubs 7 days a week for 3 entire months while everyone in England was locked in their house.
Sweden actually had a number of restrictions.
Not when I was there.
Not
it was open.
Not as draconian as we had in the UK, and there was certainly
Bullshit. It all came when Biden came in. That's when the real restriction happened. I am in Sweden. Okay. Shut up, Piers. Shut up.
legitimate questions to ask about the scale of our lockdowns. I think people panicked. They saw what was happening in Italy, which had the second best medical healthcare system in the world, and people were dying in massive numbers and the hospitals were overrun. So people may have panicked.
Did you hear about the guy who died in a motorcycle crash and it was a COVID death? Did you hear about that one?
Well, there was
Downing Street didn't seem very concerned with COVID.
There was a long debate about people dying of COVID or with COVID. I know all that, but the bottom line for me, it is indisputable that COVID was a deadly pandemic that killed a lot of people. It turned out a lot of older people more than young people, but they didn't know that at the time, not for a long period. The vaccine saved millions of people's lives. There are legitimate questions about some of the boosters, about some of the side effects of the vaccines, as there are, by the way, with all vaccines. But the idea that COVID is some invention by the Matrix to suppress and control its people is for the birds, Andrew.
Yeah, how could you ever think that there was a plot there, you know? How? I don't understand.
Listen, man, there will come a time when this, what Piers just said, it will come back and bite him in the ass. It's going to be hilarious to witness.
Right?
Yeah.
What is he going to say then?
When shit is going to happen to him, like sexual assault, bullshit charges and all that stuff, look at him then, you know?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah.
For the birds.
It seems the birds
and
and
I don't think a smart guy like you actually believes that.
Of course I
And that's one of my
absolutely
problems.
believe that.
One of my problems I have with you is that I think you are intelligent, but I think you also adopt positions that you know are going to get the anti-matrix mob inflamed. And it's just these all-encompassing views you have. COVID was a load of nonsense.
Hold on. Did he just make a flaw there? He said to rile up the anti-matrix crowd. Saying that, he's kind of admitting that there is a matrix. maybe he didn't think about it himself, but
Yeah. Also, if you want to make money and be famous, you don't go against the system, buddy. If you want to
exactly.
be, you can't tell the truth and make money in a world full of lies. You cannot do that.
Exactly.
It's really
Exactly.
difficult to do
Yeah.
that.
Because the
How
environment.
is he making that comparison?
Yeah, because the environment is toxificated. Like let's say the environment is full of lies, right? So you can't be truthful in an environment full of lies. And that lies is like it's a toxic environment. So in order to be able to flourish there, you have to also be a slime, toxic being. Maybe that's a bad comparison, but what I mean is,
Yeah.
you
No, I get what you mean.
just exactly what you're saying. In order to make money, you have to be a fucking bullshitter, a fucking fake ass motherfucker, and all of that shit. You can't be the truth person. Period.
Yeah, it's like people who criticize you. It's like saying you who make reaction videos and saying the truth about music is
Yeah.
actually you trying to please the mob or go with the current or go with a. That's not an argument. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
They go at me for exposing pitch correction instead of going at the ones who actually does pitch correcting, you know? Like,
And it's like, hey, you want to be famous or you want to rile people up and all that stuff, and they don't realize that if I want to actually make money, I can just put a fucking mask on and just
yeah.
be like every other piece of shit YouTuber out there, do reaction videos and be happy about every single song and every single video I react to, like a fucking puppet. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you make it. What's up, Mindy?
Hey, Bendy Mindy.
Yeah, he admitted to having beforehand opinion of Tate too. This motherfucker. He said this is my problem with you. He's anti-conspiracy stance. You gotta play the game for what it is, or not at all. It makes sense. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, do you?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Do you celebrate Thanksgiving? It's an American thing, right?
What?
Yeah.
It's a Christian thing, man.
Yeah. I thought it was an American thing.
Bro said America. Oh, very Christian of you, Vince. Good lord, man.
I'm not
Bro
Christian.
said America.
I'm not Christian. Who said I'm Christian, man? I'm still.
I assume that you're Christian.
Don't
You're
assume
just,
my gender, man.
You're a Persian who lives in Sweden, who believes in God and likes Trump. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you are, okay?
I believe in God.
Cool.
I like Trump, and I like truth. Yeah, those things. Yeah.
Vaccines are all dangerous and killing more people than they
Never
say.
said that. I
No,
said the
but,
COVID vaccine.
well, COVID vaccine, well, you don't think they worked?
No, of course not, because the idea of
course
the
they
vaccine,
worked.
the word vaccine in and of itself.
Yes, they worked, but it depends on what you mean by worked. Worked in, if
Also, isn't the whole idea of a vaccine is for it to actually
Say jab.
work?
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry about that. Jab, like for chicken pox or something, or I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. You get those. I don't know what it is,
yeah,
but those actually through time. Listen, man, I'm anti those. All of them. I never got any V for anything, even when I was a kid. My dad, shout out to him. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm not injecting my boy with some bullshit." He said he'll get sick. He'll actually get really sick, even more than the people who actually got those. But he'll pull through and he'll be better for it in the future. But if you actually do take those, you actually feel better. I'm gonna be honest. Like you see people that actually take those, and like who you get bit by a dog or something. Those ones. Those actually, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like those are effective. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, but
Hey, listen. I think there are jabs that work.
yes,
There has to be. You know why? In order to gain trust, credibility, you have to have stuff that works. The same thing goes with that whole industry. If they couldn't cure you of shit, you wouldn't trust them. So they have to cure you on a bunch of
Great
stuff.
point.
And then fuck you over when you don't look.
That's actually a great point, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is. Vince, you don't know, but you're Christian. Am I? Joking. All right.
Is that you
They
get,
save millions of lives.
if you get a vaccine, you do not get the disease. They changed the definition of vaccine in the dictionary so they can continue to inject us with
That's
this
true.
pointless poison. I had the vaccine for polio.
That's
I've never
weird.
had polio. You got the vaccine for COVID, and you're bragging online how you have COVID for the 8th time, but it's not that bad because you've had 6 injections. It's insane. And please understand my position. Please understand I'm a person who doesn't believe any of these studies, don't believe any of this garbage, don't believe the Matrix. I'm a person who was in Sweden for 3 months, as everyone was afraid, locked in their houses, partying.
And let me just say, I have not had the teet. I mean the. I have not catch this thing in these 3 or almost 4 years.
I did, apparently, I think.
Yeah, but that could be.
But it was beautiful.
Was it?
It was amazing, man. I'll tell you something. I think I said this to you before. I'm gonna mention it again for the people, I don't know, that would watch this again, perhaps.
Yeah.
Before that, I used to have these colds, winter flus and all that. You know, when you get sniffles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I got the C 3 years ago when it was, hitting.
Yeah.
For 3 years, not even a headache, Vince. Not even a single headache.
After or before that?
I didn't see a doctor after that. I didn't see a doctor for like 3 years now and counting.
Yeah, you're just good,
I don't
right?
know what it is.
But listen.
Yeah.
This is what I think, science.
It's a blessing, I think.
No, this is bro science.
Yo,
okay?
I love this. Go ahead.
Bro science. Listen, sometimes you just have to get sick. Some might get sick after a longer time than others, depending on how healthy they are. Different bodies, different cases, right? So some people, they might be really healthy, but eventually they will have to get sick because the body is trying to, I've heard that the body is getting rid of a bunch of shit eventually. So you might get a little slight, what is it called, fever or whatever, because the body is doing some shit, So eventually you will get sick, and then, depending on how healthy you are, after that, it might take a couple of years again before the next cleansing. You know what I mean? Bro science, man. It's not...
Cleansing. Nice.
Cleansing.
Okay.
Because you're collecting. You're collecting.
Hey, you sound like a yoga instructor. You have to cleanse, man.
Cleanse yourself. Find nature and sit down with your hands like this. Yes. You know what I mean? Anyways, talking too much, right? Hold on. It's a hoax. I had hot water and lemon tissues. Maybe that's good. Is the flu. No hardcore untested contagions. It depends on how you treat your immune system. Yeah, sister science.
Bro, you jab Mindy?
Huh?
Is Mindy jabbed?
I don't think
Mindy
so.
If she took the V.
I don't
think so, but yeah.
Anson, did you take it? Anson might have taken it, right?
Well, Anson lives in calmy Britain, so it's
yeah, but
scary in the UK.
I think Anson woke up during it. Maybe no. Let's see.
Had a lower death rate than the UK.
They had a much higher death rate than their neighbouring countries in Scandinavia. Did you know that?
They had a lower death rate
Did you know
than
that?
the UK.
Did you know that?
It doesn't. No, I didn't know that.
It doesn't matter to you.
Of course not.
So you wouldn't compare them to their immediate neighbours. You'd only compare them to a country in the UK.
If you think lockdowns worked, Piers, if you think lockdowns...
I think lockdowns were only acceptable as an immediate panic move, which it was, before there were vaccines. The moment they had a successful vaccine program that worked, then there was no justification for further lockdowns.
You're a very important person, and you're very well respected.
I'm not important, I'm a journalist.
No, you're very important, and you're very well respected within the UK, and you've been famous for a very long time. Were you invited to the party at Downing Street, or were you not in that?
No.
No? Oh, that's a shame.
And I thought the
Because
behaviour...
they seemed very concerned about COVID on the TV,
And by the way,
they didn't seem to give a shit as soon as the TV was on.
I thought that was disgraceful. And I thought Boris Johnson and the people working at Number 10 who were having those parties, when I had friends of mine who were literally saying goodbye to their mothers on FaceTime on their phone because they weren't allowed in to see them. I knew people in care homes where it ripped through and killed a third of the people in the home in 2 weeks. And the desperation that people felt. I had a cousin who lost his father who couldn't go and see his dying wife and so on.
It's disgusting.
There were terrible stories.
It's criminal.
Terrible stories.
It's disgusting. So let me ask you a question as a professional, because we're both adults and we're both very smart. As a professional, which is more likely? That the government believed COVID was deadly and everybody should be truthfully afraid and locked in their houses, but because they had this spirit inside of them and they couldn't resist the idea of a party, decided to risk their lives to party, or they lied on the television trying to scare everyone and enslave them and lock them in their houses, knowing it's garbage, knowing it's a lie, and not caring, and had a party behind everyone's backs and didn't think they'd get caught. Which one is more likely as a professional, as a logical human?
Why don't we just agree that they were a bunch of rank hypocrites, stupid people who were behaving utterly selfishly, to the extent that the Queen, when her husband, Prince Philip, dies, is in the church on her own, in a mass, with none of her family around her after losing a rock of 70 years. And it turned out the night before, down the street, it had, I think, 2 parties, including a karaoke party. I think that was shameful and disgraceful.
Well,
so we can agree on that, right?
We can agree on that, and we can wake up and start to realize, oh, maybe the government doesn't care about us. Maybe the government lies to us. Maybe they tell us things and try and scare us, but they don't actually care themselves. Maybe all they are is hypocritical, self-interested people.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they use the MSM to purport their lies, to keep everybody enslaved. Well, they do whatever they want, and that is the matrix in and of itself. And if you speak against it and people listen to you, I'll repeat this. Your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. If you're as big as I was, the most Googled man on the planet telling the truth, you will pay the price, Piers. And that is why I was locked in that cell. And I do not regret it, because I live true to God. I'm not going to sit here as a coward and not tell the truth to people for as long as I live until they put a bullet in my head.
Let me ask you about the lover boy.
And let me just say this quickly. No, Anson and Mindy, no poison. Yeah, that's good. It means you know.
Beautiful.
It means you
nice.
Guys. Again, let me just say this quickly. If this thing was so dangerous, there would be no need for force. Everybody, including me, I would have been like walking down and standing in line to get myself some juice in my veins, you know? If it was, real. Right? If it's real, you don't have to force people to do anything. They will go by their own accord.
Yeah. At first, when this big thing happened in the C country, Asian country, big country.
Oh yeah. China.
Yeah, I thought it was like a plague situation, like a black plague or something. I thought that at first, and I was like, okay, people are dying, people are dropping dead. And it's scary deaths and all that. Okay, this is a plague situation. I looked at my dad, I was like, okay, so apparently we're gonna die now. This was gonna happen. Because if listen, man, you know what you said about the body cleansing?
Yeah.
Trust me, if you believe in nature and the cosmos, or you believe in God, it's the same concept. Something gotta happen. They cleanse some stuff. Plagues, strong stuff. So I thought,
nature.
That's what I genuinely thought. I was like, okay,
nature is.
God has plagued us with something, and it's gonna eliminate a lot of people, man. To prove a lot of people's faith and truth and all that.
Yeah.
Where their faith actually lies. I genuinely thought that for a moment.
Yeah.
And then when they start doing, hey, put this on, the mouth diaper and all. I was like, it's a plague, so a mouth diaper will protect you. Fuck out of here.
Remember when they put it on kids? I saw videos on Twitter. They was like...
I got arrested.
Huh?
Because I said to a couple, I got arrested because I told a couple to take the fucking mask out of their kid, man.
That was what it was.
Man, your kid is crying. Your kid is crying, dude. Look at that. Just take off the mask. And he was like, why don't you put a mask? I was like, okay, make me. It's very easy, dude.
You see, not everybody should have kids, man. Not everybody should be allowed to have kids. But listen, I've said this before, and I'm going to quickly say it again. You know how I also detected this was bullshit? If it was something that when you catch it, you drop, right? You drop in a day or two or whatever. You drop. It would not be able to spread that far. If the reaction to it was so immediate, it cannot spread too far because the people gets it, they drop. Gets it, drop. Drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can't spread to the whole world in a couple of weeks, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? If it was super deadly, it would have been contained in a area, you know, where those who were there got it, and they dropped, and then it stopped with them, you know, however many they were, you know. Eventually, it would have been a stop to it. Can't spread to like Australia.
Yeah. That's a great point, because what they said about the Black Plague, which is the most dangerous one, it's when a person catches it, it's not like an air thing. Like you get it from someone else, but if you're alone, you'll never catch it. It's like a weird thing where if someone didn't pass it to you, that's why they handled things back in the day. Like they put certain people that they knew were gonna die. I don't know, maybe it was cruel, burn them and all that stuff. Like I've read books about it. It was crazy. But what they did is they gathered all those infected people and got rid of every single one of them, just to preserve the ones that didn't catch anything.
Listen, you know? How do we even know? Crazy. Just like Anson says, I don't believe in half of the things that happen. How do we even know after this? Be right back. Delivering Thanksgiving to homeless. Oh, that's very nice, Mindy. Very nice. Good stuff. Good karma.
That's cute.
Good karma. A lot of fear. Yeah, who knows what went down back then exactly. Okay, let's get back.
Method. So the suggestion is that you and your brother and others, but let's talk about you, that you deploy the lover boy method, where you would make women fall in love with you. You would then persuade them to do webcam stuff, right?
TikTok.
Okay, but wait, let's call it webcam stuff, right?
No, let's not call it that. The indictment is about TikTok.
Okay, what would you make the women do? Or what would they do with you?
I don't make anybody do anything. Okay. In fact, let's talk about the lover boy method. So it's very interesting. Let's imagine the Matrix is pissed off with a said individual who's telling too much truth and everybody is listening to him, and they decide they're going to attack him with sexual assault claims. They say, he's making women do, well, we found conversations where he gave advice on how to go viral on TikTok. He's making women do TikTok, but he isn't being horrible to them. He's not hitting them. He's not being mean to them. So what can we do? Let's use the lover boy method. If I was abusive and mean, they wouldn't say lover boy method. Do you know what lover boy method means? Being nice. He was nice and polite and kind, and they really liked him as a person, and he told them how to do TikTok.
But that's not what the
lover boy.
Of
course it is.
Andrew, that's not what the lover boy method is.
Absolutely it is.
The lover boy method is where perpetrators woo victims with the prospect of a loving relationship until they can be forced into abusive situations or a form of slavery.
This is garbage.
That's actually what it means.
The lover boy method is being nice to people so that you work together, effectively what they're trying to say here. I was nice to girls who asked me for TikTok advice, and they sang it's the lover boy method. I didn't beat them into doing TikTok. I didn't force them. I didn't threaten them. In fact, I was like, yeah, you're very pretty. You can be pretty famous.
Was there any element of coercion?
How can there be an element? What does that even mean? Let's be professionals here. What does that even mean?
What do you think coercion means?
I was coerced into this interview. You came along to me and said...
You weren't coerced into this interview.
Yes, I was.
Well, don't tell me. The bullying MSM said, Andrew, you've got to do an interview.
No,
I'm going to fly all the way to Romania to do it.
You didn't do that. You used the lover boy method. You said, sir...
The lover boy method?
Yep. Andrew, this is going to be a very interesting interview. We had a good one last time. You're a nice guy. We have some interesting conversations.
I didn't say you were a nice guy.
I'm going to come along.
Wait a minute.
We're going to make some money from this interview.
Wait a minute.
Money will be made for both sides.
Wait a minute.
You lover boy me and you stole the profit.
Just to be clear, I've had no conversation with you about this interview. And the conversations I've had with your intermediary were very professional. And I said, I would like to do an interview with you.
Were you nice?
I'm always nice.
Lover boy. You can't believe you used niceness to lover boy me because this is a profitable enterprise and I was coerced here.
I make no pretense that I've come all the way from London to Romania to interview you because, yes, I want to do it on my show and that will clearly benefit me and my show.
Am I a full-grown consenting adult who decided to do this show?
Yeah, but you're not being coerced into doing this.
Am I a full-grown consenting adult who decided to do this show?
Yes.
Okay, so I wasn't coerced, correct?
What's that got to do with what I've asked you?
Because you were nice to me and you're saying that...
I wasn't nice to you. I didn't even talk to you.
Being nice is the lover boy method and that adults have no personal responsibility and that nice to someone, they become your slave.
I wasn't nice to you and I didn't call you a nice guy.
Well, you were nice enough for him to do the interview, you know? Like, if he was, let's say, one of these other ones that are, you know, obviously anti, then he would have said, fuck you. So you were nice enough for him to say, hey, all right, let's do it, you know? Ridiculous.
Guy.
Yeah.
Right?
And you also used the lover boy method on me to get me on stream.
I did, right? I did, right?
Did.
Listen, you're good. You're nice. It's fun, right? Come on. Come on over.
Well, you weren't that sexual, but okay.
Is that sexual? I don't know. It's ridiculous. And by the way, in that case, all women or a lot of women are doing that same shit. you know, they're nice to a guy or whatever.
Exactly.
Get him to buy you shit and whatever, and in the hopes that he will get in between your legs, you know. How many women do that all the time? How many women are doing that right now as we speak somewhere? You know, right now.
That's funny. Do it right now, but somewhere. You know?
In this moment, right now, nobody gives a fuck. You know?
Yeah, some poor bastard, you know.
Yeah. Right now, he's losing like half of his monthly salary. Right now. That's funny. That's funny.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
You had a website, Hustlers University, offering courses teaching husbands and boyfriends how to get their partners into
Absolutely
webcam.
false. The Hustlers University, which you can go to now, actually, we've changed the domain, it's university.com, is a school which teaches modern wealth creation methods. We teach people how to make websites, we teach people e-com.
Why did you call it a PhD pimping hose degree?
No, you're talking about an old video which was made satirical.
Why did you call it that? Oh, that's satire.
Because it's funny.
9 years ago, the internet was
Because it's funny. You know, I'm laughing.
That's hilarious.
Right? It's funny.
That was the degree. That's funny.
Right?
So
It's
you're
funny.
going to sit here and say, oh, 9 years ago you said stupid things on the internet. It's not a gotcha moment because every single person has. So if
Does he actually think it's like a organization, Pimping Hoes, and like, come on over to Pimping Hoes organization, sit down
Yeah.
over there, like is that what he's
It's like a
thinking?
pimp would say that on the internet, yeah.
Yeah, right. And this is so
It's like a drug dealer, yeah.
Yeah,
saying I sell drugs on the internet.
Yeah, this is so stupid. This is so stupid, man. It just shows you what level society has gone to, you know, intelligence-wise,
Yeah.
you know, that, anyways.
No, but you'd be very.
So have you, because you advocate for the vaccine, sir. So
yeah,
you said
absolutely.
stupid things on the internet. Like, that's how things go. It's satirical. I also said I'm an astronaut. Do you believe I've been to the moon? Because I haven't, believe it or not. Hustlers University teaches children how to make websites, and it teaches.
There's only one reason I'm asking.
fitness advice.
Only reason I'm asking you. You've repeatedly said in interviews since you were arrested that you have never categorized yourself as a pimp. You don't think you're a pimp, right?
Well, what about all the rappers? Did you ask Ice Cube if he's a pimp and a murderer and a drug dealer?
I'm not
Jay-Z
interviewing-
sold
Fact.
I'm not
We're sitting here
interviewing.
talking-
I'm not interviewing them. I'm asking you whether you have at any stage
Why not?
in the last 15 years been a pimp.
Of course I've not been a pimp. I've said I'm a pimp. I've said I'm an astronaut. I've said I'm a cowboy. I've said I'm the strongest man in the world. I've said I'm James Bond. Throw me in jail.
Are you just
Put me in jail.
Does he think he's an actual pimp with that, you know, that jacket and, you know,
Yeah, that's how stupid Piers Morgan is.
and the cape?
That's how, yeah.
That's hilarious. That's funny, man. That's hilarious.
okay?
I deserve
Dude,
it.
this
9
is
years
the
ago,
guy
I
who
would've
said the
jumped
Ah,
on-
jab
so here's
is
my
good
question.
for you, man.
Yeah.
You should realize this. This is the same guy who said the jab is amazing and it works.
Yeah, but
He has to have this mindset.
I'm like, is he really that stupid with the jab, or does he have to say it? It's a hard one for me. I don't know if he's that stupid or that he has to
I mean,
say it.
even
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this: even if he changes his mind, dude, even if he says all the right things and the correct things, he'll still be a controlled opposition. I would feel
Oh yeah.
like that JP piece of shit or Ben Shapiro or someone. Yeah, those people are controlled oppositions. They might like Trump. Even Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro loves Trump. Ben Shapiro thinks
I
Trump is
hate
the best
Ben
president
Shapiro.
since George Washington.
I don't
he
give a
thinks he's the
fuck.
best president since Lincoln.
I
Yeah,
I
he says
hated
great
Ben.
arguments about Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that
it doesn't
doesn't
change
matter.
the fact that
Yeah.
guy is a Zionist. I would say.
Yeah, take it easy with that word. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a.
He's something. Listen, I don't like. I didn't like him before, and I 10 times dislike him after what happened with these countries. You know what I mean? That fucking little chipmunky or shut the fuck up. I never
The way he
understood.
talks is like his
Right?
autism is at 9,000. Yeah,
Right?
it's scary.
Right? I never understood how he has 2.5 million subscribers. I can't listen to that guy in 1 minute. Just you know,
Dude,
fucking annoying guy.
the Daily Wire is worth like $300 million now.
Who
You
the
realize?
fuck watches that shit?
He owns that
I hope
company.
Candace
I
Owens
mean,
moves.
we know who the owner knows that. Yeah, do you see the beef between them? That was
I've
fun.
heard something. We have to look into it.
Dude, if you disagree with a coworker, would you call them disgraceful at a public setting? He said it, she was disgraceful with her opinions about his precious country.
Yeah, but that's because he feels he can say that because this whole subject got the backing of, it's backed by powerful stuff. Therefore, he feels that he can say stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Have you seen the interview that he did with Jordan Peterson and the Prime Minister of that country?
No, I've seen a picture, but
it was a while back.
I thought it was AI, but that's real.
It's the closest thing to a gay porno, a gay threesome I've ever seen in my life.
They were sucking each other off.
Sucking him off dry, dude. It wasn't like a minor criticism at all. It was Prime Minister before every question. Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister. Dude, even Jordan Peterson was like, he was happy. I never see that guy that happy. And he was happy.
He was not depressed then, right?
It's crazy.
Maybe he was on medication.
I didn't cry at all.
Maybe he was on medication. Yeah.
Are you a fantasist?
I'm not a fantasist.
Do you have a persona that's just not you?
Of course not. I am me.
Well, if you are you, why would you repeatedly call yourself a pimp and then now say you've never been a pimp?
Are you going to sit here and say that because I've once said, oh...
I'm curious whether you're trying to say to me you didn't mean any of the things you said. So I'm asking myself, well, why should I believe anything you say now? In other words, is what you say actually what you mean? Is Andrew Tate real? Or do you have a complete persona that you fuel for money that has nothing to do with the real you? I don't know. You tell me.
I exaggerated on the internet 9 years ago for comedic effect. I'd walk into a nightclub and there'd be girls at my table, like every other man who walks to a nightclub, and I'd say, pimpin'. Oh no, put me in jail. 93 days was not enough with the cockroaches. I should go back. This is a matrix attack, Piers. Every single person, every single man out there has done things worse than I've done. In fact, I will argue, if you put 99.9% of men through the level of scrutiny I've been through by multiple federal agencies, you will find a lot worse than him saying he was a pimp on the internet 9 years ago. You will find actual, genuine crime. And I've done nothing. I live true to God. This is all garbage, and it's not real.
Like I said to you, I don't know if you're guilty or not.
I do.
Okay.
And I am not guilty.
No,
it's a matrix attack.
I want to be clear to you, I'm not preempting your guilt. I've come here with a completely open mind. You'd be charged with serious offences, but I am not going to judge you because I'm not a judge. This is not a courtroom, right? But it's interesting to me that one of the biggest charges against you is that you're a misogynist. And you've always said, I'm not a misogynist. And then the last time I interviewed you, you said, well, I may have said some things that, may have been...
Hold on, is that one of the biggest charges? Is that illegal? Is it illegal?
That's not a charge.
He said it.
It's an observation.
Hold on, let me take that back.
Is that you're a misogynist. This is not a courtroom, right? But it's interesting to me that one of the biggest charges against you is that you're a misogynist. And you've always said...
Hold on, I need to Google that. Google. Is misogyny illegal? Misogyny illegal? Misogyny as a hate crime. Okay, what is a hate crime? Misogyny as a category of hate crime would not make anything.
You know what hate crime is?
Hate thought. Free speech.
Misgendering people, for example, that's hate crime.
Ah, okay. Would not make anything illegal that isn't already. The law has not changed.
It isn't illegal, though, yeah.
So it's not
just like racism.
So it's not illegal. Okay. So one of his biggest charges is that. Okay. Interesting.
And I'm not a misogynist. And last time I interviewed you, you said, well, I may have said some things that may have been misconstrued. But even in the last week, you've tweeted some stuff which I'm not even sure if you're aware as you tweet this stuff, how it sounds.
Read it.
Okay, let's read. This is quite a long one.
Sure.
But I think it's important to read it to get a sense of how you view women.
Absolutely.
Any woman I date does not have a job. Okay, so the woman you're with doesn't have a job?
No.
Okay. Do you date other women?
Sometimes.
And your partner's fine with that?
Obviously.
Yeah? And you're fine with that?
Why wouldn't I be?
Well, you think it's fine to be dating other women when you have a mother?
I think we're consenting adults and everybody can make their own personal
decisions.
decisions.
Okay, fair enough. Why would I be working so hard, you say, to have hundreds of millions of my woman to waste her life enslaved to pennies? No, I will give you a life you can never ever afford. Private jets, 5-star hotels, new cars, endless spending money and diamonds. You will be rich because you're praying for me every day and protecting my spirit. I work in the physical world, she works in the spirit realm. Women shouldn't have to work because being a good partner is a full-time job for a woman. She has to look good. All the beauty treatments are time intensive. Not about money, it takes a lot of time. She has to train every day and stay in fantastic shape. Shop to look amazing next to me. I know there are some men who do 100 times more than this on a daily basis, but women are not as organized as men, and achieving anything significant causes them huge amounts of stress. Yeah. They need to have huge sections of their day empty to waste, or they will have a mental breakdown. True. And do you want a woman who's stressed and angry after the commute, unshaven and exhausted? Or do you want a Barbie doll who's always smiling and saying thank you because she did her nails and brought you Prada that day? As a man, unless you're a loser, you're already filthy rich, right? You can get endless sex anyway. Girls are easy. So what can a girl give you? Happiness, vibes, always smiling. Take the edge off a stressful life. Can she always be happy if she's been working all day? No. Just to wake up at 11, gym till 1, one appointment and some shopping. Dress beautiful by 7 p.m. for you to finish working and tell you how strong you are. No matter how pissed off you are, just to always be laughing and smiling and writing little notes about how you're perfect. And just to be playful and funny. She can't do that if she has a job. So your job is being my girlfriend, and now you're a millionaire.
You know what I don't agree with this? Is that just that the goal is to have a woman that is like, oh, very a 10, with big boobs and ready to be fucked and, ready to be fucked and then goes out to shopping and then comes back, gets fucked. I wouldn't want to live with that. I mean, we're getting fucked. Yes, that's good.
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean? I want a woman that I can talk to.
In all due fairness, he didn't say stupid though.
What did he say?
I said in all due fairness, he didn't say that he wants like an ignorant or stupid woman. I feel like he would be honest enough after the whole thing that he said. He could have just thrown in there, I don't want you to argue with me about anything, ever. Or I don't want you to tell me your opinion. You know what I mean? He could have said that. He's the type of guy to say that on tweets. But he didn't say that in that tweet. So, yeah, I feel like he's into the... which is all men are. You want your woman to be stress-free.
Yeah, that's true.
To be happy.
That's
which
true.
Is fair, which is a fair thing. You want yourself to be sort of in a physically at least miserable state, and you're like, that's okay. At least she doesn't do this. I'll do this.
Yeah,
that's an honorable thing. That's a noble thing. So
yeah, but what I mean is, I don't want a bubble head.
I do agree what you mean. Yeah, exactly.
You don't need a bubble head. It's like having a whore on standby.
Damn. Well, yeah.
It's like call in Nadia. I want Nadia on Mondays.
Nadia, okay.
Yeah. Natalia on...
That's not a Russian name, Vince.
Fuck it.
Okay, that's a Russian name.
Natalia on Tuesday. And give me some other names. What are the names?
Lisa?
Katrina? Katrina.
Sarah.
Sarah is on Fridays.
That's my ex's name, actually.
Already. Well, she is on Friday. Yeah. And on Saturday...
Yeah,
on Saturday, I want two. You know what I mean? So, but we cannot, if he likes that, that's good. Hold on, let me read. It's an attitude, misogyny. Morgan is a moron. He definitely is, some form. Everyone is entitled to their own. As so far as I'm concerned, definitely not legal. It will soon if the lefty retards, keep going. It will be illegal, and then we're all screwed. I'm first in line.
The lefty retards.
Yeah, fucking retards, fucked up people. Might make you unpopular. Yes. Let's talk. Portia. Destiny. Yeah, I don't know if that's Russian. Destiny? Is Destiny a Russian whore? I don't know. Maybe she is. You're freezing. Hold on. Oh, now you're back. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, you too.
Behave.
Me too.
Okay, now I'm back, yeah.
Okay.
And aim for the promotion to wife. The reason I read all that in detail was, I don't think you understand quite how that comes over. Because I think that is the purest definition of misogyny I've probably ever read.
Well, I don't think you understand. One, especially when I'm talking about the fact that women can't handle what men can do, etc. One, it's slightly sarcastic. There's a sarcastic tone.
So do you mean any of this?
Oh, I mean all of it. Any woman I'm with, I will provide for. Because
no woman should work. They should spend all day beautifying themselves for you, right? And they make you promoted to wife. Your job is being my girlfriend.
Correct.
There are hundreds of millions of women around the world who do a good day's work, who still manage to be a very good wife or partner.
Agreed, completely. But it's my
So
life.
why would you encourage a whole generation of young men? I mean, I've got to be honest, since our last 2 interviews, before you were arrested, I would say every single day I have young men, teenage boys, maybe early 20s, coming up to me asking about you. It's gone on every day since I interviewed you. I'm very aware of your reach. I'm very aware of your influence. And whenever I've been asked about you, they say, what do you think of him? I said, I don't really know. I find myself agreeing with 60 to 70% of the things you say. And I do, because I think a lot of the stuff you say about empowering young men to be confident, to work out, to take care of themselves.
To have enough money to not force their woman to work.
Right, but that's the bit. That's the bit where, when you stray into that kind of language, particularly in detail, where you reveal what you're really thinking, the kind of pathetic, soulless life you want for these women, where does it allow for being a mother, for example?
Absolutely.
How does the mother of your children manage to find time for being a mother in this routine of love and devotion to you?
How does having a job give her time to be a mother? This gives her all the time in the world to be a mother.
True.
One is slightly sarcastic, firstly.
What do you mean?
Well, you can tell by the tone.
Do you mean you don't mean it?
No, I mean it.
Well,
but it's slightly sarcastic.
Well, sarcasm means you don't mean it.
No, I mean it. But it's slightly
Well, you either mean it or you don't. It's either sarcastic or it's not.
I mean every single word.
But this is the conundrum with you, Andrew.
Sarcastic.
This is the conundrum with you, right?
It's not a conundrum. If you'd let me explain, it's not a conundrum at all.
You tweet,
and also,
you
what's
tweet
very
this.
interesting, I tweeted this out. I get thousands of women begging me, inboxing me, saying, finally a man who understands he needs to provide for a woman so she can be her best self.
Right.
This is exactly the kind of life that will allow
No, there are definitely women that will absolutely love to be treated like this.
Are they misogynists?
No, but what I think they are, they're people who just basically, it's the old sugar daddy thing, right? They want to have a rich guy who's going to pamper them and take care of them. They don't have to do a day's work. They just have to make themselves
a good partner
look
is
good
a
for
day's
you.
work.
Well, so you say.
Yeah.
But it also, the language that you use here seriously diminishes women who do work. You make them out to be, well, you're not doing your job as a partner or wife. You should be doing your job, which is just to devote yourself to his pleasure. And
I guess he's saying, like, the woman now can actually go and try to do things she will enjoy, you know? Instead of going to a work where she is miserable.
Yeah.
Right? That's probably
And if you
what
ask any woman, someone who is sane and feminine and beautiful inside and out, if you tell her, hey, you want to quit your job? We have enough money? She'll be like, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Of course. Dude, I would quit my job.
Right? If somebody
What the fuck are
said...
these people talk? What is Piers talking about?
Right? Like, hey, listen, fuck that job. Now you can have money, and now you can focus on what you want to do. You're like, fuck yeah, you know? So this is ridiculous. Yeah, exactly, as you said. The bit he doesn't like is the truth. Andrew, covering his tracks, never said I agree with you on the serious issues. Or Morgan. I don't get it.
Well, it's actually interesting you say that, because I'll put a lot of the fault of this on men. Let's if you want to gender the argument, let's do that. I think that a lot of the reason why women can't live this life, if they so choose, if you're a woman who decides to work, then go to work. I don't care. But if you're a woman who decides she wants to retire, it's because she can't find a man who could provide for her at this level. Do you think when a woman marries a billionaire that she wants to go get a job in Starbucks? Because in my experience, when they marry extremely successful men, they don't want a job. I'm sure Ronaldo's wife isn't begging to go work in IKEA.
Actually, Ronaldo's wife works very hard.
She works for herself, which is different.
And her family.
Of course.
Yeah.
Which is
She's a
different.
hard-working woman.
Absolutely, because being a fantastic partner and having a bunch of children is a bunch of hard work. And she also finds the energy to have businesses on the side. Fantastic.
Right. But you,
so
but you don't want women to have businesses.
No, I'm saying if you're with a man of my stature, you don't have to work. Now, if I met a perfect woman and we were together and we were happy.
When you say a man of your stature, with respect, right now you have no income, no possessions.
Come on,
and
man.
you're facing serious criminal
Ridiculous.
charges. I mean, I'm not quite sure what statue you think you're currently selling, but it ain't great.
Okay, well then it's a shame all those women inboxed me after I put that tweet out saying,
I
agree with you. I think you should interview
I
all
met
of
a
them
woman
for their
yesterday who, when I
misogynistic
said I
views.
was coming to interview, was immediately like, oh, can you put a good word in for me?
Of course.
Sure. You have a definite appeal to a certain type of woman. There's no question.
I think providing
my
for
question
a
is,
woman
if I was,
financially is a man's responsibility. If that means I'm a misogynist, then I'm a misogynist.
no,
I think
so you accept you are a misogynist?
No, I think a man should provide for a woman financially, completely and utterly. If she wants to work, if my partner were to say to me right now, I really feel like getting a job, it would make me happy. Then
You know what it feels like, quickly? It feels like people like Piers, they're just fishing for headlines. Just like now, he says, so you are a misogynist. He wants him to say, yeah, I am. So he can say, Andrew Tate admits he's a misogynist. You know? He's like fishing for these click titles. You know? That's what they're doing.
He doesn't do that with other guests.
Right? I think I saw him
Also,
with... Yeah.
like those journalists who interview Trump after they interviewed the other guy, the retarded old dude.
Biden.
Like they ask Biden what kind of ice cream do you like, and then they ask Trump, what do you think about the Russia thing? Do you come on, man.
Dude, whenever Trump went out and talked to the press for like a half an hour, he got like 50 different subjects. Bam, 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 bam. What do you say about Stormy Daniels? What about Putin and what he did there? And President Xi and there? And what about the border? What about Mexico's president? He's like dang, ding, dang, dang, ding, dang, dang. And then Biden is like,
and all of them are trying to
nail him.
All of them expect a yes or no answer.
Yeah,
which you can't do a yes or no answer to those questions.
Exactly. That it's ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Have to. Her job is looking after the children, looking after me, and being as happy as possible. If you think I'm a bad person for saying, if you actually read that.
Oh, by the way, I just want to say I saw Piers Morgan interviewing Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and it was a completely different type of interview. He was like normal, you know. He was respecting.
Yeah. Also, when he interviewed Cristiano Ronaldo.
The same, right?
Yeah. Dude.
Why though? Is it because it's sports or whatever?
Because they're not political. They're not political. Yeah.
Probably.
Not political.
Yeah.
Even with Zlatan, you think Zlatan always a dude. Zlatan was asked about Trump. He said, what do you think about Trump? And he was like, I don't care. With like a slightly, like, I don't give a fuck about. Like, you can say I never met the guy. You can say a lot of things, but just say I don't care.
But do you think it's true though?
That he doesn't care?
Yeah.
Well, those people choose to not care because sponsors control those people's lives. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Like, but although they are very rich, they can't say their opinion actually.
Oh, no, I know that. I know that. But secretly, don't you think he is kind of watching what's going on?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he likes Trump. I'm pretty sure his whole demeanor was modeled around Trump. Come on.
Probably, right?
The whole ego, and I don't care. Yeah,
I have a hard time thinking he's not, because guys who are like him, they draw to people like Trump. Do you know what I mean? Like it's anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I read it all out.
Okay, good. Then you understand what I'm saying.
You know I did. You heard it.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is, I am a man. My life is stressful. My life is pain. I go to jail. I suffer. I have to deal with making money. I have constant, endless headache. I do all of that so I can give you everything, but then I get to have you. Your job is to be happy. I want you to smile. I want you to look your best and feel your best all of the time. If I'm a misogynist for saying that I go through so much pain so that we can be financially secure, so I hope the woman I care about does not have to work a job. If that makes me a bad person, then so be it. Because all I'm saying is I want to take care of her in every single realm. I take care of her physical safety. I take care of her financial security. That is my job as a man. And if more men acted like me, you will see that the world will be a happier and better place. The women who say, I really want to work, I want a career, that's their prerogative and their decision. They're allowed to do that. But also, often the reason they do that is because they can't find a man they trust to take care of them.
No.
I've had this from women in their own mouth. If I found a man who was financially secure and as smart as you, I wouldn't be doing this garbage job either. Why was I psyoped into working to pay taxes when I should be at home having children with a man I adore?
Andrew,
it's a psyop.
Andrew, there are so many women that will listen to that and be laughing and mocking you. Say, don't be so ridiculous. I have a job that I love. Maybe they're being paid even more than their man, right? The real world isn't the one that you categorize.
The real world is varied and nuanced, but I am talking about my life experience. My experience, any woman I love does not have to work unless she decides to.
Fine, you're the boss, you're in charge, her job is to make you happy, her job is to make herself look good, her job is to work out for your benefit, blah, 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 blah. It is actually just misogyny.
Do you think a woman looking good, do you think a woman looking good and working out has no benefit at all to her?
Of course it does.
Okay, so it's not for my benefit, then, is it?
No, you see, but when you talk about young men and you tell them to work out and take care of themselves, I cheer you on, right? I want that. I've got 3 sons. I want them to feel that.
Don't you want them to become very rich and successful?
Of course.
Have a woman who relies on them and have a beautiful family?
No, but I don't want a woman who's subservient to them.
Why is subservience? Why is a
literally
woman
the tone of the tweet I read is subservience? You did another tweet this week. Men love by telling you what to do and not allowing you to make stupid decisions. We save you from the female inclination to make stupid choices. If a man isn't giving you instructions,
dude, you were just agreeing with the lockdown of humanity, man. And you're talking about, oh, I don't want this woman to be like subservient to Andrew. Shut the fuck up. You agreed to the whole human race being locked inside of their homes. And now you care about
some... It's a beautiful thing that people realize that in the comments, so...
Oh, they did?
People are actually smart enough. Yeah. Oh, yes. Dude, they used to turn off the comments on the video, the Piers Morgan Uncensored. No, they don't, I think. If you check it now, people in the comments are just flaming Piers all the time.
That's good. Don't know about all this, but he really spoke on the other. That was cool, even if control up. Talking about her as if she has no say, as if they are all brainwashed by him. Yeah, women, right? I'm not getting that vibe, though, from him. Andrew, huh?
He doesn't love you. If you won't listen to a man's instructions, you don't love him. The whole language is so ridiculous.
Let me change the language then.
Well, you tweeted this to 8.2 million people.
Correct. So let me say this. A father loves. Let's say instead of a man loves, say a father loves. A father loves disciplinarian. That's how a father will love you. A mother will say, oh, I hope you're happy, hope you're doing okay. But a father will come along and say, no, don't do this. You must do it that way. That's incorrect. It has to be this way. A father will discipline you because a father feels he knows best for you. It's the masculine essence of love. When a man loves, he shows that he cares via degree.
There is a massive difference between a relationship between a father and a child and between a man and a woman in a relationship.
Completely.
And I'm not sure you quite get that.
No, there is a difference. But I would argue, Piers, in the happiest relationships, it's a traditionally masculine role.
I mean, there is a difference, but at the same time, there is a similarity between how a father is protective of his child. There is also a similarity how a husband is protective of his wife as well. Even though she's not his, kid, there's still the same type of concept going on, but, from the guy's side. You know what I mean? He has to take care of his wife, or protect his wife, or take care of his wife, the same as he has to do it for his kid. Probably the kid goes before his wife, but still, it's still the same type of thing. Anyways, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
And plays and provides. The female is traditionally feminine. The man is the head of the house. Not in an abusive way, doesn't beat her up. I'm talking about the man being the head of the household, like I would like to believe you're the head of your household. And he comes along and says,
somebody has to be the head. You know what I mean? We can't have two heads, If, the best fitted person should be the head. And, that's usually the dude. But you can't have two heads. What if the two heads have different decision making in an emergency? Oh, she would do that. Oh, she should that. Oh, she would do this. She would do that. And then you get killed. You need one head, that is positioned as the head, because you both come to the conclusion that this is the best bet. That the guy is the head. If it's a guy, if it's a real guy. If it's not a real guy, it should not be the head.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because he's the man of the house.
No, that's not. That's actually not how most households operate now.
Well, then it sounds like we understand why the entire world's a mess. Because only 10 years ago, that's exactly how the households were operated. There was a man of the house, and now we have no longer any clear defined roles. There's no longer a man of the house. You want to talk about knife crime, kids doing drugs, the crime rate, all of these problems. You want to talk about all of the societal ills we face. Perhaps it's because we don't have any men in the house anymore. Perhaps we need to bring the man of the house back. And the man of the house will come along and be a disciplinarian, and he will make the set rules and the creeds of that house. He will say, within this household, we don't take drugs. That stands for the woman I am with, the children who we have birthed. Nobody takes drugs in this household because this is my house and I'm the man of the house. So it sounds to me like we need to bring it back, sir.
Yeah, listen, it's all good macho stuff, okay? And I know lots of young boys who listen to this and go, wow, that's how
No, it's common sense.
And I read the detail of your tweets. And again, come back to this. We save women from their female inclination to make stupid choices.
Females are emotional.
If a man isn't giving you instructions...
Now, females are emotional.
Hang on.
Piers,
he doesn't
females
love you.
Are
All this stuff is designed to, exactly as you've just articulated, is designed to make young men feel that the only way they can be successful in life is to effectively have their women under control, give them instructions that they have to obey.
Don't buy women Prada and you'll end up in jail.
You can buy them Prada, but let me finish my point. My point is that it seems to me, from reading your tweets, even now, that you have a blind spot when it comes to how they sound.
No,
It may be that the legal problems that you're in, which might be extremely serious, and we'll see when the trial happens, but it may be that in your head, nothing you've done is remotely inappropriate, because actually in your tweets you can see there's an element there of wanting coercion and control. You want to control women. You want them to be effectively your servants, slaves, for want of a better phrase.
Slaves who get Prada and get to work out in the gym and get to look good.
But you understand,
do
you understand the point I'm making?
No, I don't.
Which is that in your head, the line is blurred so much now with this macho rhetoric that you've actually lost track of how this sounds.
Here's all of the things
Even when I read that stuff to you, I could see you looking at me and your answer is, I was being sarcastic. No. And I said, well, where? And then you go, well, no, I meant it. Well, it can't be both.
I meant it, and I said
you either mean it,
you either
mean it, or it's, well, no, because sarcasm means you don't mean it.
Piers, all the things you've just described.
Do you accept that?
No,
You're a smart guy. You know what sarcasm means,
Absolutely.
right?
I said it has a sarcastic tone for comedic effect. All the things I'm saying and the things I've said are basically the way the entire world thought only 10 years ago. You may buy into the psyop, you may buy into the new thing.
I don't buy into any psyops.
We just talked about the vaccine, sir.
Yeah, the vaccines weren't psyops.
Of course not. No. So I believe that there should be a man of the house.
You had a polio vaccine, right?
Correct.
Why?
Because I didn't get polio. I wouldn't have a COVID vaccine, so I'd still get COVID. Plus probably myocarditis and have a heart attack. So we believe there was a man of the house 10 years ago.
Do you think statistically more people got myocarditis by having the vaccine or not having it?
I think statistically we need to bring it back.
You don't know, do you?
Why would I know? Why would I look at the statistics
why would you bother
that come from the Matrix itself?
So the Matrix, so every fact you don't like, because it doesn't suit your agenda, you just dismiss as Matrix bullshit.
No, I'll give you a very simple way I view the world. COVID can't hurt me, so why would I take their injection?
You don't have to.
Point two.
You don't have to
They
take
tried
it.
to make us, including you.
Yeah.
You don't have to, anyways. You don't have to.
Told people
Yes.
they
You know
should
why?
have the vaccine.
You know why?
If they don't have it, they shouldn't leave their house.
You know why? Because at the time, the scientists, and by the way, scientists is ever evolving. At the time I said that, the scientists said if you had the vaccine, it would prevent you transmitting the virus.
The Matrix.
That turned out to be
Just
wrong,
like the Earth.
and they issued updated advice.
Yeah, just like the Earth, right? The scientists say the Earth is...
He said it's ever evolving and the shape is ever changing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a sphere. It's not a sphere. It's something else. It's not... Dude, this is why I love Damian Marley. I don't know if you know who he is. He's Bob Marley's son. He's always has these stuff in his raps. It's amazing about flat earth. He's a flat earther, actually. And he's like about all this stuff. And he doesn't believe in the moon bullshit. He's so fucking... Yeah. He said it's always changing. The shape is always changing.
Yeah,
I remember he talked about it in a radio station.
Yeah, you
once,
reminded
and
me
he
of
said,
that.
"Are you really a flat earther?" He said they told him, "Are you really a flat earther?" He said, "Can you prove that the shape won't change 5-6 years from now because some guy told you that it's gonna change?" So what is it? Is it an egg? Is it a sphere? Is it a basketball? Just tell me. I want to know.
Yeah.
What is it? And the guy was like, I don't know. It's changing. He said, how can a ball change? How can shape change?
Yeah. They say that's the official line. They say the Earth is a ever-changing ellipsoid, which apparently is a... They say the real shape is like this now, like an eye, like a...
Oh, wow. Like a Chinese guy's eye. Like, I think that's racist.
Oh,
shit.
no.
Anyway, yeah.
What? What's racist about pointing out that Chinese people have eyes like this? It's like saying a giraffe has a long neck, or an Iranian like me has a big nose. Yeah. Is it racist to point out that Iranians have big nose? That's bitch. That's bullshit. I mean, that's bullshit stuff right there. But anyways, so yeah, it's not that flat, but they're saying it's like a NFL ball, like a.
So I think at the end it will be flat, according to their assessment.
All right.
Yeah, so it went from a ball and then it started like to spread.
Yeah, and eventually they will just admit.
What a clown world.
Yeah, eventually they will just admit that it was always flat. That's what they will admit.
You know what they would do? They won't give you the pleasure of knowing that you were right. What they will do is not like you said. It is flat, but not according to what you said.
Yeah. It's just eventually turned out flat. But what was I going to say? Listen.
I read something. Sorry about that. I cut you off.
No.
I read something, and it was beautiful 2 days ago. It was in the Quran. and I didn't know this one. In the Quran, God says that we will never get past the clouds and the sky.
The sky is the limit. Yeah.
The sky is actually the limit.
Yeah, actually,
And,
like
dude,
for real. Which Elon Musk
you read
proved.
stuff and you're like,
Yeah,
exactly.
he proved that last week.
The fake rocket CGI bullshit.
Yeah, he proved that it can't go far.
Dude,
yeah.
the funniest one is India's moon landing. That
Yeah.
is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. And the way Joe Rogan was talking to that Tyson guy, whatever his name is, the black dude.
And
Joe Rogan was like,
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah, Neil deGrasse.
Yeah, disgrace Tyson.
Yeah.
He talked to Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan was like, why is the video of India like that? And
Oh
Tyson
shit!
was
I don't
like,
think I've seen that.
well,
yeah.
you know, it's the angles. It's the angles, man. It's you know, it's weird with the cameras. I've never seen him that flabbergasted because he thought Joe Rogan was, you know, his pal, and you know, he believes in it. And Joe was like, yeah, I feel the video looks a little fake.
A little.
The guy was like, how can you say that? It's not fake, Joe. Come on, Joe.
Man, I need to see that clip. Fuck, I need to find it later. But
yeah, I'll find it. Yeah, I'll find it.
But listen, looking at the polls on Twitter, I mean, you know, there's people who do polls like, do you think the Earth is flat or round? And it's always at least 70% flat and versus 30%. Yeah, it's always flat Earth leading. So a lot of people are believing.
Elon's credit, which is ironic because when you think about the company that he owns,
Yeah, space.
Most of Twitter now doesn't believe in this space bullshit. Most of Twitter now.
That's hilarious.
Which
Hey,
is hilarious.
What
Like,
if
he was like, to him, credit to him, he actually said he did what he said he's gonna to do, like free speech and all that. You know,
What
you can
if-
think whatever you like? And,
What if he is actually a flat earther and he's doing his best to prove that with his rockets and actually allowing flat earth to be on Twitter? Like, what is it?
That's funny.
What if his mission is
That's
to
funny,
expose it? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Who
he
knows?
took more than $2 billion from NASA as a support, you know, for his company.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, nice.
He's been saying it looks flat or some shit like that. But anyways, let's continue with the Tate.
I say further studies said that actually you could transmit it. And at that point, you know what I did, which you never do? I held my hands up and went, I was wrong because the advice changed, and now I would not say the same thing. That is called actually evolving opinions when facts change. That's actually how a civilized democracy...
No, Piers. You changed when you were allowed to change. You could not change during when it was not allowed to change. He only changed when it was, you know, allowed to be able to say, oh, maybe this whole stuff is bullshit, or I mean, doesn't work, you know. Anyways, yeah, he's a snake. He's a snake. Answer.
Works. Oh, is it? We live in a civilized democracy, do we, sir? I actually would argue that point with you for a very long time. I don't think we live in a civilized democracy. Another point I want to make here: if I had cancer, or if I was at threat of a genuine disease which could actually harm me, would the NHS text me 10 times a day trying to get me treatment, or would I be sitting there waiting for 8 months to get an appointment? They wouldn't care about me and they'd let me die. So the fact that they will endlessly text me and try and beg me to get this poison should have been an alarm bell for anybody with a brain.
Actually, I tell you what the NHS sent me. I'm a 58-year-old man. In the last few months, they've sent me one about a flu jab, which I'm going to have, because I think it stops you getting flu, and flu's nasty. A COVID booster, which I won't have. I think I've had enough of those. I'm fine with that, thanks. They sent me one about having a check for bowel cancer, which I've done and came back negative, and so on and so on. The NHS texting system is for our benefit. You don't have to do it. No one's holding a gun to your head. The Matrix isn't saying, if you don't have this, Andrew Tate, we're gonna do something to you.
Do you have any idea?
You've not been treated in Romania by their
Ridiculous.
system because of anything to do with COVID vaccines. And your attempt to try and persuade people that that's the case is ridiculous, and you know it's ridiculous.
Do you have any idea how difficult it was to remain unvaccinated, Piers? Let me tell you from somebody who was unvaccinated and traveled the world. Do you have any idea how difficult that was
Well, yes,
actually
because
to do?
countries have border controls.
No, because they tried to force everybody. So to sit and say they weren't trying to force, you know what they did? They said, come get the COVID vaccine. It's good for you. It's going to help. They tried to coerce you by being nice. They tried to lover boy everybody. They tried to use the lover boy method to force people to get the COVID vaccine. It just came to, we need to put all these people in jail. Andrew, they were being nice to people, trying to help them. Unbelievable.
Nobody forced you to have it. Did you have the vaccine?
Absolutely and utterly not, sir. My principles are not for sale. I would have stayed in my house to the end of human time and sat there as a pureblood, the last one, the last pureblood on the planet before I inject myself with poison.
You're not making an MGM trade.
Yes, I am, because it's a matter of principle. I am not a farm animal. My blood is mine. It does not belong to the government, and I decide what is in it.
Right. All right. So you have a polio vaccine, but not a COVID one.
Correct.
So your brilliant brain has determined that you know more about the medicinal and scientific benefits of individual vaccines. And the polio one, you decided with your brilliant brain, will have.
Yeah, that's still optional, motherfucker. That was not, you know, a fucking campaign to the whole world to force you to get it unless, you know.
But even though a lot of people, by the way, have had side effects to polio vaccines, did you know that?
Yes, correct.
Is that the Matrix doing that?
No, I didn't say the Matrix gave them the side effect. I just told you all the reasons I didn't get the vaccine. You've already described it at length.
But you work out with your brilliant mind which vaccines to have.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. You realize
you can join my email list on CobraTate.com. You can sign up for free, and I'll tell you which vaccines.
I wouldn't come to you for vaccine advice.
Why,
Andrew? Because you have zero experience.
I didn't get the COVID one.
Advice.
I obviously did pretty good. I avoided the poison shot while everyone else got it, so I'm actually pretty proud of my track record.
What happens if you're found guilty of the things you're charged with?
Well, then I'm going to have to go to jail, I assume.
What's the maximum sentence you could get?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I actually genuinely don't.
You've never asked your lawyers?
It can be between 3 to 8 years. I think.
So you do know.
I don't know the maximum.
But if you were to serve 8 years, having served 3 months and know how bad that was, could you cope with that in a Romanian jail?
Interesting question. Could I cope with it? Yes. Would I be the same afterwards? I'm not sure.
What do you think even the 3 months did to you as a man?
Well, it was a fantastic test from God to make sure I am the man I say I am, because I think there's a lot of people who speak about masculine excellence who are not the men they say they are. When trouble appears, you often learn that they are nothing but postures. I had nightmares for a very long time. I couldn't sleep. I struggled with certain things. I would check my bed sheets every single night for cockroaches religiously. I had a problem with that. But I never turned to therapy. I never turned to drugs. I understood that all of these things are from God and they're given to me so that I can become a stronger version of myself. And I welcomed them all and I embraced them all. And now that I'm a better, not completely, but almost better, part of me actually misses my nightmares, Piers. Part of me misses training all night. I didn't sleep for weeks, months.
You said you didn't have nightmares?
No, I had nightmares. I said I didn't have nightmares in jail. When I left, I did. And I kind of miss it because I had so much time in the day to get things done. And now I'm sleeping a full 6 hours. I feel a little bit lazy. So perhaps I need another test from God. And if God decides, Allah is the best of planners, if he decides I need 8 years in jail, then I will embrace those 8 years in jail and do my absolute best to come out as the most formidable version of myself.
Have you felt suicidal at all in the last year?
I don't believe in suicide. It's haram.
I know, you said that before, but did you feel like you may want to end it all?
I would never kill myself under any circumstances. So the day they put that on the news when they finally take me out, you can know it's a lie. It's haram. I would never kill myself. Lock me in that cell for the rest of my life. I would never kill myself.
While you're under house arrest, you tweeted this: avoid women who go to festivals. They're either on some loser's table who's feeding them cocaine or in a crowd of sweaty peasants because they're a sweaty peasant. Endless Instagram stories screaming and having fun to prove to the world they're worthless. Hard pass, festy hoes.
Correct. I tweeted that, yes.
Again, why would you categorize all women who go to festivals in such an unpleasant way?
I actually categorize all men who went to festivals also. Did you read that tweet? Why are you gendering the argument? I think all people who go to festivals are stupid. It is peasantry. I've never been to a festival in my life. I'm not going to stand there and scream and jump up and down for some other human like he's God. I think the whole thing is embarrassing, all of it from head to toe. It's all sweaty peasantry and it's all just drug-fueled insanity. So why are you gendering the argument when I insult the women who go to festivals and also the men who go to festivals, because all of it is peasantry, head to toe, and I do not regret it. All festivals are peasantry. Anybody who goes, I do not associate with. I've never been to one in my life. I never will.
So you've never been to one. How do you know what they're like?
I can see enough. I've seen the sweaty bodies bumping into each other, high on ketamine, pretending that the song they heard on the radio at home is now more fantastic because they're listening to it from a loudspeaker.
I get it, but
it's embarrassing.
But to be clear, you've never been to one.
Correct. Okay. My infinite brain that understands vaccines perfectly
we've
also
established
understands.
we have established your brain is unique.
Correct.
You tweeted a picture of Amanda Holden, a very good friend of mine. It's a very harmless picture. She's in a bikini on holiday under a rain shower, looking extraordinarily beautiful.
In a sexual pose.
And you tweeted, you are a wife and a mother and you're far past a teenager. There's no need for this post.
Agreed.
Again, it's just misogynist to say that.
It's not misogynistic.
Why can't a woman of her age, she just turned 50, why can't a woman of that age actually show off her beautiful body in a nice bikini like that? What's wrong with that?
You can call me crazy. You can call me misogynistic, but I think once you reach the ripe age of 50, any woman should not be interested in thirst trapping on Instagram. I think she has bigger responsibilities. I'm sure she's a very intelligent lady and she's done amazing things. She's famous. She's obviously very capable. And I think she could do things more interesting than standing around trying to thirst trap on Instagram like she's 18.
Because
I think she's above it. I wasn't insulting her. I was reminding her that she's actually such a fantastic person. She's done such amazing things in her life and she's so achieved that she's actually above thirst trapping. I was reminding her of her worth because as a feminist, we're all feminists here, right? We all believe in women empowerment. I'm reminding her of her worth.
Are you a feminist?
Sure.
Well, you're not, though, are you?
I believe in feminine empowerment, and I think feminine empowerment is in, yes, I do, and feminine empowerment is in
only,
modesty. Modesty is empowering
only,
for females.
You only believe in
taking your clothes off for men on Instagram is not empowering. It's empowering when you say, no man but my husband can see my body. That is female empowerment. And I was reminding her of that. I was reminding her of her ripe age and her intellect, and there is no need for that.
How old are you now?
I am 36.
Think about that. Like, this whole society, in a way, has become... when she takes that picture of herself and throws it out to Twitter, it is being broadcasted. Like, back in the days, you took a picture and, you had it in your home. Like a physical picture in your home. Maybe you did it for your husband if you did it, but that's about it. Now you can take a picture and broadcast it like you're a fucking TV station to the, you know what I mean? It's kind of sick if you think about it.
16-year-old somewhere is having a great time.
Right? Like we're becoming products.
Don't these people realize that the things you do affect the people around you? I'm sure she has kids and all that stuff.
Right?
What do you think those kids do? Like a 17-year-old seeing his buddy's mom on Twitter half naked.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen to your kid? That's a bully material right there. That's beautiful bully material.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
This whole thing is this whole internet thing and smartphone thing is a giant experiment that we don't know how it's gonna go, man. Because for what we know, this is new for humanity. For what we know, I don't know what happened in the past, but it looks like this is the first time we're experiencing this shit, and we don't know the outcome of whatever we're doing right now. It's sick. It's sick. Anyways.
Years old. Correct. At what point will your antics, chugging your cigars in your ripped body in your compound with your security and your Bugattis, at what age does that become a thirst trap?
I don't know if that ever stops being a thirst trap. Because
so it's fine for you. Once again, one rule for the man, another rule for the woman.
Well, it's interesting because I've never heard this argument before, but I'm extremely intelligent. I've already deciphered how this is going to go from head to toe. It's called, I guess we can look at peacocks, right? The male peacock, he shows, look who I am. Look what I can do. Look at my achievement. Look at my beautiful feathers. And I guess you could call it peacocking to a degree. I'm showing the world. I'm extremely physically capable. Yes, that's correct. I'm extremely financially successful.
You stripping off for Instagram is fine.
It's not stripping off for Instagram. I'm boxing. When you box, you have no top on.
You do it all the time with your cigar and you're showing off your ripped body. That's fine for you. But if Amanda Holden dares do it, that is apparently thirst trapping.
I think me boxing with no shirt on is different than a 50-year-old woman punching.
You don't just box. I've seen you doing ones where you wander around all moody with your cigar and you're topless and stuff. So fine for you.
Are you a fan, Piers?
No, I just think it's thirst trap.
Moody.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't do that.
Perhaps it's successful. Maybe you should start. Perhaps it's successful because I do have a lot of female fans out there in the world, and they pretend I'm a misogynist, but it turns out that 85% of women on the planet seem to agree with me. Every single woman I've ever met in real life agrees with me. I have no female hate at all. I've never had negative interaction with women ever.
Yes, you have.
With who?
Well, what about the BBC journalist that came to your compound?
Lucy.
Yes.
I've never had a negative interaction with a female ever.
Hey, hold on. Lucy, isn't that maybe a shortening of Lucifer? Lucy. You're muted.
She does look a little devilish, I'm not gonna lie.
Right? Lucifer, Lucy. Yeah.
Who's a fan?
I love that.
Categorize.
Huh?
I love that Piers is categorizing Lucy as like an attractive woman at once. That's pretty nice of him. Yeah.
You know what she is? She is like if there is no other choice, and she's the only option.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's a wild one. Yeah.
Like, oh, there is no more women. It's only Lucy. All right, let's go, Lucy.
It's only Lucy. Hey, Lucy. Yeah. Lucy.
Come on, Lucy.
On a long enough basis, she'll be going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4.
Right? She's like a 10 after a while.
Like a Victoria's Secret model. Yeah.
She's
after
like
2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month.
Queen eventually. Yeah. Hold on, Anson. What are you saying? In fact, there are less of the old type of festivals. They do exist, though. Yeah, the drug festivals, right? Usually the much smaller ones. He could do press-ups, too, if he wanted to. So that was ridiculous. He trained, so what? I do think the jacket is a bit posy. That's personal. This jacket. I don't know.
His
Is that a
Tate's
negative?
jacket?
I don't know.
It is a little tight though, yeah.
Tight. Yeah. It's one of those
a little bit
shapes.
Following around for a long time. I think she was a little bit
There are lots of women, Andrew. There are lots of women I know personally. There are lots of women who find you incredibly offensive.
I don't think so.
Right? It's their right to. It's your right
course,
to.
of course.
It's your right to not care.
Yep.
But the idea that somehow you're this beloved person for the world's females, I think is not true. You are for a certain type of woman who likes to be treated in the way that you like to treat women.
Well, let's counter that argument, right? Because the world, as I said at the beginning, is nuanced. Am I beloved by all females? No. But when I'm sat here with someone as prestiged as you who says you're a misogynist and you hate women and women hate
I think you talk in a way that is misogynistic, yeah.
Okay, well then you make it sound like all women hate me, and that's also not the case. Of course, it's a nuanced
I didn't say all women hate you.
Some women agree with me, some women don't agree with me. When I said that post about Amanda Holden, a lot of women said, Andrew, that's actually completely correct. She's extremely famous, and there's no need for her to be posting pictures like this at her ripe age. I was actually empowering her. I believe that female empowerment is in modesty.
But you don't actually believe in feminism.
I believe in the idea of...
You believe in masculinity controlling women.
No.
They have to take instructions from you. They have to do what you tell them. And that is actually what love and relationships are about.
No, I believe that men and women have different roles. I believe that we were created differently by God because we are the perfect team. I believe that a man who's in his masculine frame is best suited by a woman who's in her feminine frame. I believe when we work together, we can achieve amazing things, whether it's raising children or preserving society. And I believe a man has certain jobs and a woman has certain jobs. You don't understand this about the things I say. When I said there that women make bad decisions in the tweet you referenced earlier, the point I was making is that women are more emotional than men. That is their superpower. That is fantastic. That is a great thing. I love female emotionality. In the tweet before you tried to use against me, I was talking about how I love a woman to be happy all the time, smiling all the time while I'm stressed. I love female emotionality. The reason women are better with children, is because they're emotional. That is their superpower.
That's not what your tweet said.
In a position...
You're not even remembering what you wrote.
Of course it is. I said women are more emotional than men. Is exactly what I said. I'm saying that is a fantastic thing. But there is no light without dark. So in certain situations, the emotionality is positive. In certain situations, the emotionality is negative. We can also argue the same for men, because what happens with me is everyone tries to gender my arguments. We can actually argue the same with men. Stoicism. Male stoicism is positive in certain scenarios. It can be negative in others. We can come across as unempathetic or not care because we're stoic. But in certain situations, it benefits
I know
us.
people who've told me that their kids who are in their late teens, they're at schools where the name Andrew Tate is banned. Nobody's allowed to mention your name because the teachers think that your brand of masculinity is so toxic.
Think about that for a while. I don't think I've ever heard or seen in history where somebody's name is banned. Like, you can't say this name. What the fuck? Is it the jinn? Is it Satan? Like, who is this? You can't say...
Dude, you can talk about Satan in school.
Oh,
You can mention Satan. You can mention Hitler in school. You can't mention Andrew Tate. That's...
Think about that for a second.
What?
Let that sink in. What the fuck? What do you mean I can't say his name? The fuck kind of a police state is this? Right?
That's...
Well, I can't say his name.
That's wild.
You know, it sort of reminds me of the N-word, but in a different way. This is like a personalized N-word. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can say, you know, Cobra Tate. Do you know Cobra Tate? Like to the other kids in school, you know, Cobra Tate. They're like, yeah. It's like when I say the N-word, you know the word I'm saying when I'm saying N-word, you know?
Yeah.
So, but you can't say Andrew Tate, just like you can't say the N-word. You know, it's similar.
He shall not be named.
Yeah,
like from a Harry Potter book, Voldemort or something.
Yeah, he who should not be named. Who the fuck is that? Yeah, but that's very interesting to think about, at least.
Yeah. Like names and banning them, like on a long enough basis, you'll find yourself not actually wanting to say the thing anymore. Even with this YouTube bullshit censoring,
right?
Like I found myself in my everyday to-day life saying "new country" and "our country," and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? This is real life."
Yeah, because I think it's like our brain gets used to the censoring. You know, they're like,
Yeah, you did this, man. I always would like imagine your voice in my head. You're like beep 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 beep.
Yeah, but listen, that's why I think stuff like the N-word is bad. Like, what I mean is, the ban, like you can't say the word. I think that's bad because that opens up for shit like this. You know, that was like the first stepping thing where you can't say a sound. You know what I mean? It's a sound.
Yeah.
It's really a sound.
Also, words like the F word, for example, or the R word, retard. Yeah. Those things were like 5 or 6 years ago.
It was
Those
cool.
were mentioned in movies and stuff. Yeah, it was cool. And now they're just hate crimes.
Oh, you're talking about the other F word, right? The FAG.
Yeah, I'm smoking F.
Yeah. Listen, when I was young, me and my buddies, that was how we said hello. What's up? Hey, what's up? we
yeah.
We said, hey, what's up? What's up, man? What's up, man?
I do that now, actually. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, with my black friends, the N-word is flying around everywhere, bro. Dude,
what's up, my nigga?
It's a.
I almost said it. I almost said it. Yes.
Dude, you don't need more hate, man. You have a lot of minorities that hate you. You don't need black people as well, man.
Everybody hates me, man. You know? But it's silly, though. It's silly. Really. It's silly. Hey, what's up, Pepsi girl? I yell that word when I'm driving. Which one? The F or the F?
Oh, shit. Nice. What word? Yeah. Hold on. What word?
Which one?
Which one?
It's all... I just don't like when sounds are not, sounds are not legal. You know what I mean? They're not legal in a way.
Yeah.
In a way. The second F word, yeah.
Second F word.
You fucking...
I feel like
you
need
motherfucking...
to yell these bits like... I imagine you're like on top of a mountain and yelling. This is for you, Susan, and start yelling.
Hey, I should, I will start to sell recordings of me saying it in sentences.
Yeah.
Sell it.
Start yelling on the top of your lungs.
Yeah, just like these Twitch girl sells bathwater. I will start selling recordings of me saying the F word.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're almost done with the part 1. That's good. It's good.
They are seeing a immediate effect on the way that young men behave, and not in a good way.
Is that what the teachers think, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I am actually genuinely concerned by the fact that I've been banned from schools when I do nothing but preach masculine strength and excellence. But then if you actually understand how the society is going, how the world works, and all the insanity they're trying to push on all of us, I can understand why they banned me, because I speak the truth. If I was wearing a wig, Piers, and lipstick, and telling young boys to remove their genitals, would I have been banned from schools? No. They would have said, no, you can say his name, no problem. No matter how big I got, if I had a wig on and lipstick and I had been castrated medically, I would be allowed to talk to the young boys.
And you know what that is? That is the blackface of women. Do you know?
Nice analogy.
Right? When somebody does a blackface who is not black, they're kind of, I don't know, making fun of the race or mocking it, or I don't know what. I don't know what it is. So these tea people, they are doing blackface, but on women. Woman face, right? I think I've even heard it somewhere. Woman face. They're doing woman face. Blackface, woman face.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, man. They're masquerading as a woman, just like the white guy masquerades as a black dude, painting himself and shit. That's what it is. So they're doing woman face. Yeah.
Like that guy from Canada, Justin Castro.
Yeah, he did blackface.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he is fine. Somehow blackface doesn't apply to him. So, anyways.
As soon as I say you're supposed to grow up and get big and strong, and your wife doesn't want a job, you need to pay for it, it's your job as a man, you better find some money, then I'm the public enemy #1. Garbage.
On that last point, you don't say if a woman doesn't want to work, a man has to take care of it. You say a woman shouldn't work.
I say my woman won't work.
Right.
I'm talking about my personal experience. I said any girlfriend of mine, because I'm in an extremely fortunate financial position. I was before Romania took everything, of course. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. So because I am in my position, I would not want my woman to work. I think there's more important things she can do.
If you have hundreds of millions of dollars, where you said you had a worth of 17 million.
No, I said they took 17 million.
So where's the rest?
They must have taken it. I think they have it. Or maybe I lost it. I think I lost it somewhere.
You've never had hundreds of millions of dollars.
Of course not.
You haven't, have you?
Of course not.
You said they took all your assets.
Exactly.
Well, did they or didn't they?
Of course, they took everything.
I mean, they'll be watching this. Are they to assume that there are hundreds of millions more dollars they haven't got yet?
No, they're watching this. That's right. They take absolutely everything. You have it all.
Why the fuck should they take more if he had them? How much
Also,
did
Piers
he
is a
make?
piece of shit for that.
Right?
Dude, you should understand what's going on and leave it at that.
Right?
Like, this is not even... It's personal now. Like, you want this guy out of his money. Is it jealousy or something?
I don't know what it is.
Come on, dude.
He
It's
wants... yeah, it must be some kind of a jealousy or something. But anyways, even if he had hundreds, 200 millions, why do you need more? I mean, how much money do you think he made on these girls? I mean, what kind of a girls was these girls, what? Right? Like, must be out of this world. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Alien girls or something. Making 100, 200 million dollars on them. That's his share of the income. That means, you know, they got something too. So close to 250 million or something. That's anyways, it's ridiculous.
But again, is that all just the smoke and mirrors? Is that all just the top G stuff that you play up to, which has no bearing on reality?
I was the most Googled man on the planet. I was the most relevant man amongst 18 to 35-year-old males, which are the highest earning and spending people on the planet. Do you really think that I can't pay my bills, Piers?
Right now, yeah. Okay. Someone's paying them for you.
Correct, you're right. Someone's paying them for me, you're right. My girl's got a job. She works at Starbucks. Exclusive, Andrew Tate's girl, top cheese girl works in Starbucks to pay the rent. I've been exposed.
See, again, I don't know what to believe when you say stuff like that.
Well, I'm telling you, my friend, that the Romanian state...
I think you deployed deliberate smoke and mirrors because you think it plays up to the brand.
The Romanian state has taken all of my money and I'm just, getting by. That's what's happened.
Do you worry about your impact on young men?
I think that...
Because, like I said, I'll be completely honest. I think a lot of what you say, they should be hearing.
Yep.
And I have tangible proof every day when I walk around that they are listening to everything you say.
Yep.
But there is other stuff you say where I don't want my sons, especially in that impressionable late teenage, to be listening to that.
Correct. And that's a
And I don't want my daughter to grow up and think that actually her only success in life will come if she's at home as some kind of servant to her man.
Well, that won't be her only success, but that's a very professional question, and I'll give a very professional answer. I have a massive responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, and I understand that young men do listen to everything I say. I do think I say good things, but you also made a very pertinent point there. You talked about the impressionable age of a teenager, and it's very easy for a teenager, with their hormones and their lack of life experience, to take the things I say and weaponize them and use them in the incorrect context. However, that is not my fault. You could argue that 16 and 17-year-olds can look at anything on the internet and misunderstand it. You could argue that all of this transgender garbage and all of these rappers talking about killing each other and all these drill artists talking about stabbing their enemies could be misunderstood by 16-year-olds.
I agree.
So, that's not my fault. However...
On that, I totally agree.
But they wanted that to be allowed so that they could brainwash and make the society more stupid. So that's why that shit was allowed to be happening. Yeah. And still is allowed, Cardi B and little whatever, little pump, little this, little that.
So I have a massive
And
responsibility.
you are held to a different account, actually, to a lot of those rappers.
Absolutely.
Right? There's no question. I mean, the far swing is when John Legend rewrote the lyrics to Baby It's Cold Outside because apparently encouraged sexual assault, but wouldn't say a negative word about any of the disgustingly misogynist and actually very violent lyrics of his rap friends.
Absolutely.
That to me is total hypocrisy.
And it is hypocritical. However, unlike all of these other people, I have taken into account my massive power and my massive responsibility, and I try to make sure that I use my words as carefully as possible so they cannot be misconstrued or misunderstood. Can I make sure that no teenager on the planet who listens to me ever misunderstands me ever? No, I can't do that, but I'm doing my very best. What do I actually talk about? What do I actually say? What I do is I come along, and let me give you the broad overview of my message. You're a man, so your life sucks. It's always going to suck, and it's going to be pain. You're going to do nothing but suffer. You're going to suffer as a nobody. You're going to suffer the pain it takes to become
Actually,
great.
most men don't have that.
But you're going to suffer as a nobody, because trust me, nobody suffer. Or you're going to suffer the pain it takes to become great. Life is not supposed to be a happy picnic. You're supposed to get up, work hard, dedicate yourself, get strong, get rich, go through whatever it takes to become somebody of significance. That's my overall message, and I believe it's a positive.
You haven't got to get rich to be happy.
No.
In fact, most of the super rich people I know in life are incredibly unhappy.
Really?
So you're setting a kind of false dream.
Well,
A lot of rich people are miserable.
Have you ever seen a rich person
And a lot of people who have very little money can be very happy.
Have you ever seen a rich person give their money away?
Yes, of course.
Okay, do you give all your money away?
Yes.
I don't know.
Do you want the Romanian state to take it all? I didn't smile that day. And let me tell you that the reason I tell about men to become financially successful is for two reasons. One, because you have a job as a man to protect and provide. You can do neither of those things if you are broke. That's the first reason. And the second reason I actually preach to young men to become as financially successful as possible is a greater, broader reason. And I believe we've entered a very interesting stage in humanity where the matrix is finally cracked. 3 or 4 years ago, there were certain narratives you could not talk against. But with Elon Musk owning X, and now we have Rumble, we have a lot more information on the internet, people are starting to tell the truth about many different subjects. There's a whole bunch of them we can name. And I like the idea of people who are free thinking with a free mind, who are not matrix controlled, making as much money as possible because it takes money to win wars, and I want these people to be financially successful. That's why I tell all of my fans who believe in me to become as rich as possible, because they understand that everything that the government does is lied to them. We need finance.
You use the word truth there. I don't think it's necessarily that people want to promote truth. They want to promote their opinions. Often people's opinions on facts can be very different. People can take the same set of facts to different opinions. Doesn't mean it's the truth, right?
Well, that's true. But
I don't believe in this my truth crap, right?
Neither do I.
But there are facts which have to be accepted, and you can have an opinion about them. You and I can disagree about all sorts of opinions.
So hold on, does that mean he's transphobic right now? You know,
Piers Morgan?
Yeah, because he said he believes in the truth, and the truth says biological.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember when I told you about the controlled opposition?
Yeah,
that's when Piers plays his best part because he's against all of that shit.
Against all the
transplane in sports and kids
stuff.
chopping their dicks. He's against all of that stuff. That's why I said in some parts he can play a part, you know.
Yeah. What's up, Pepsi Man? Where's Resident Evil 2?
What's up, you Mexican? Que lo que, hermano? You Mexican bastard.
Hold on, let's finish this one.
But actually not facts.
Okay, but I can argue this point where the Matrix comes out with a fact and all the opinions countering that fact are censored and they are destroyed, then that fact becomes de facto truth because it's the only version of reality which exists to be ingested by the mind. So you still need varying opinions on all public.
Do you think that what you... let's put it this way.
Sure.
You would have relationships with women and encourage them to take part in webcam sexual stuff?
No.
Well, actually, yes.
Why are we going back to this?
Because there's one question I want to ask you about it, right? And both sides made a lot of money, right?
Okay.
And in most cases, because they haven't complained in most cases, you would assume it was a mutually beneficial transactional relationship, right? I can assume that because thousands of women have been through this and most of them haven't come forward and complained about the way they were treated. So it was transactional. But was it moral? Do you think what you've been making money from, park the illegality aspect to one side, do you feel it was moral?
10 years ago, I helped women promote their profiles on the internet. Correct. 10 years ago. Firstly, I have not been involved with it for 7 years. It's not how I make money. I haven't touched it for a very long time. 7 years is a long time.
You made a lot of money from it?
I made some money from it a long time ago.
How much?
Some money. I can't even remember.
Millions? Millions?
Perhaps.
Millions. You made millions of pounds.
A long time ago.
Well, hang on. It's important. You made millions of pounds from sexual webcam activity where you and the woman doing the webcams would make money. You accept that?
No. What I did is...
Well, that is how you made money.
No, a long time ago, and I talked about this at length on many different podcasts, and I don't hide it. I said a long time ago, 10 years ago, I helped women with the tax side and the technical side and the promotion of their profiles. Of the promotion of their profiles on certain websites. And I said about this, and I said I haven't been involved with it for 7 years. The only reason this is even coming up again is because I'm monumentally famous, because nobody cares. We're in Bucharest.
Well, no, it's not.
Piers. We're in Bucharest, Romania. Do you understand that there is a video chat studio with girls talking to men online right there, outside that window?
Sure.
In fact, there's about 10 or 15,000 women in this city who do that job now. And the fact that I had I dipped my toe in it 10 years ago isn't even significant.
I'm only asking if you think it's moral.
Do I think it's moral?
Because you speak in such a morally self-righteous way now. Do you think that that was moral?
Well, I wasn't religious back then, but let me sit and
because you converted to Islam.
Yeah, correct.
You're a Muslim.
Correct.
They have a code of behavior. Do you think that that fell short of that?
I have to answer as a professional. And as a professional, I would say, judging by my current code, no, I do not think that women being naked on the internet is moral. However, there is...
So you made money immorally. You can admit that.
It's nuanced like all things, Piers. At the time I was atheistic. I know that some of my girls talked men away from suicide. A lot of men are ridiculously lonely. I would also say a lot of the lessons I know about men and how they think and how lonely and sad they can be and how difficult life is as a man actually came from that era, because I saw a lot of very successful men with a wife and with kids and with money pouring their heart out to some 20-year-old they never met about how sad they were. I learned a lot about the world, and I know that a lot of suicide was prevented, and I made a lot of women millionaires. But would I do it now? No. However, I'm in a very different situation now. I'm a different person. I'm religious. I'm also extremely financially successful.
Thing is, if he didn't do that, maybe he wouldn't even be here. You know what I mean? Like, if he didn't, that's how he made his millions, right? Or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah. Shit, if he didn't figure that shit out. Yeah.
I mean, you say that, but he wasn't famous for that. Like, people found out. Okay, people found out of Tate. I mean, I knew of Tate since 2017, so I knew his journey and all that. I knew when he started. I actually, funny enough, I remember that I actually saw one of his fights on TV, and actually, I was like, yeah, that's the guy who fought. So I knew where he started, but the people uh, who like were aware of him later on, they didn't know he did cam work, so he wasn't famous for that. Like, he wasn't famous. I mean, I know he made money, a lot of money off of it, but he could have been the same famous guy because he was a kickboxer and
Yeah, but
made money out of Hustle University, stuff like that.
Would he have been
Right.
rich then? I don't know. I don't know the full story. I don't know if it was the
Yeah,
cam
we don't
thing
know. Yeah.
that made it rich. What's up, Persian Tate? African Tate? Funny, Pepsi, man. Hold on, we got 1 minute.
Please understand, Piers, I come from Marsh Farm, Luton. I came from one of the worst areas inside of the UK. I could have stabbed someone. All of my friends were breaking into cars, breaking into houses. Most of my friends were in jail. What did I do? I promoted accounts on the internet.
You made money.
Didn't sell crack. Didn't sell drugs, didn't rob anyone, didn't shoot anyone, and now, because I am successful, I'm going to be held to this moral standard by people who grew up in fancy homes with white picket fences and went to private schools.
Well, no, actually,
I am from Marsh Farm,
no.
Luton, and the biggest crime I committed was completely legally promoting internet profiles.
Right.
There are people around me who did far
Actually, you're
worse
only going to be held
for far less.
No, you're only going to be held to the standard of the religion you converted to, which you've already
When you take
said.
the Shahada,
Well, hang
all
on,
your former
which
sins
you've
are
already
erased.
said would look at that as immoral.
When you take the Shahada, all of your former sins are erased, and I actually encourage you to find the light and convert to Islam.
Andrew Tate, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So there is a part 2 to this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
something. We gotta do that, but I think we take that next time, right? Otherwise this is
Yeah, you want to do it tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll check, but
I mean,
we'll do it.
Yeah. We'll talk.
Yeah. Put on your sunglasses, African Tate. Yeah, where's your sunglasses?
I want you to look into my eyes, man. I want you to see the spirit.
To my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna do the part 2 shortly. Okay. So Ashman, see you soon, and Pepsi Man, Pepsi Family, and Anson, and Mindy.
Bye, people.
Peace out, people.
Bye, folks.
Peace.
Bye, Mindy. Bye, Pepsi Man. Come on, man. Let me say bye to people. Okay, fuck it.
All right, say bye, man.
No, close it. No, I don't want to.
Just like Resident Evil 2. Ah, man.
That's
man.
a nice call out. That's a nice one. What about the
Apprentice?
I forgot about it. Yeah, where's the apprentice, man?
Yeah, a lot of things. Where are they? Where are they, man?
What happened,
we should finish Apprentice. I think which episode were we on? I don't remember. But
Me neither, man.
yeah, well, we should finish that one. I was in a big lead. I had like 12 points over.
Yeah,
Felim
you
or
should keep the score so Felim won't cheat.
Yeah, we'll check that out. But we'll make sure to do this part 2 at least. You know what I mean? Vince is the type of guy that changes sex position every 10 seconds. This is one of my flaws. I can't do the same things. No, not sex. I mean, I can't do the same thing way too often. I don't know if you have the same thing, but I can easily get bored. I don't know.
You don't like routine. That's what it is.
Repetitive. Yeah.
Repetition. Yeah.
I need to get
I
better.
I get it.
I need to get better at that though. But
discipline, man. Discipline.
Yeah. We're gonna try discipline with this. We're gonna do it soon. Okay.
Pepsi Man said ADD.
Probably some kind of a handicap is here, for sure. I ain't denying that. This guy is handicapped in some way. You know what I mean? And it is
All
what
of
it
us
is.
are handicapped.
Yeah. All right, Ashman. All right, peace out, people. Peace out. Peace.
Peace.